it. So it's Whitey.
Welcome to the live stream of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Conrad.
I'm Belle.
We're here. I've changed the backdrop to try and make it a bit more so we sort of pop out instead of a black backdrop, try and change things up a little bit. But yeah, we're going to try and, along with that, tweak a few things tonight, but we've got a lot to get through as always. We have another round of King of the Riff, which this time around sees us putting Iron Maiden's self-titled debut up against Pearl Jam's 10. That debut battle is coming up later on. We're going to go through the results of our build and album collection. We're going to start a new little thing because we've got like 4 streams left for the year, including tonight. So we're going to do a build a band, but it's out of power trios this time around. We're going to have a guest song from Conrad tonight, if everything goes to plan, and we have all of our usual stupidity as well. There's a few other bits and pieces. Like I said, I'm going to change things up a bit. We're going to introduce this thing called Embracing the Chaos right at the end of the night too. So we're going to have some fun. I apologize if the audio is a bit funky here because there's a massive storm breaking overhead right now. So we're having thunder and lightning and rain pelting down. So hopefully everything's coming through okay. Yeah, it's a massive storm. Caesar's freaked out and he's hiding under the desk beside me, and he's had enough of it today as well. He's done. So it's all sorts of fun and games here, but everything is good. Let's so we've got a lot to get through. We'll get through comments and then we'll go and do the round. So Nicole's here. Good to see you. You'll probably get caught in the same storms we are actually. You wouldn't be far different from us. Adrian says, hello, mates. You guys are early. I'm still at work 1 hour to go. Yeah, we actually made it relatively on time tonight.
We're on time.
I actually did. It was funny because before we went live, I mentioned the thunderstorm and all that sort of stuff going on. I was ready to go. I was going to send Dave the link, and then shit fucking broke over here, which means the dog loses his mind, which means everything gets knocked over again. So it's not
God's fault. Always God.
Caesar hates storms. I have to go and set everything up again, but he's curled up beside me, so he's all good now. Rowan's here as always. Good to see you. Same with Andrew. Good to see you as well. Good evening, all. And Basher has joined us, saying good evening, all as well. So we've got a few people.
Bye, Conrad.
Conrad's
Angus. Nice.
Angus yeah.
Fuck yeah, the show to support.
Right. If you're going to substitute, that's a hell of a
crowd.
substitute, isn't it? That's a pretty good backdrop way to do it. That's not bad at all. Hang on. Let's do this. There we go.
Oh my God.
There we
go.
That
Houses would that be?
That's up there. That's nice. Nicole said, nothing here yet. Storms tend to split and go around us. It's a bit like that here too. When they do break around us, they fucking hit. So it's a bit of an interesting one here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you get a bit of rain, but not a lot of storm, if that makes sense. Adrian's going, love the backdrop, Conrad. So a lot of love for the AC/DC backdrop there for Conrad's there, which is good. While you're away, Conrad, we were in solo mode, so people could see the backdrop in its glory. So
I heard. It's Donington 91. Monsters of Rock 91.
Yeah.
Great video. Watched it so many times.
Yeah.
Right there.
Wow.
Conrad was born there. Man.
Yeah. I think
I have been to Monsters of Rock. I didn't go to that one, but I have been to Monsters of Rock many times. It's now where Download is.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But they've moved it, so you don't have the tire in the background anymore. The famous Dunlop tires.
Right.
You see it in the Paradise City video clip as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
2 kids died during that performance.
Shit, that sucks. Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking Debbie
So
Downer.
heavy.
Yeah.
Gunners
Okay,
like this.
Sorry.
Yeah, the Gunners one.
Yeah.
The Gunners one.
Yeah, the footage that Paradise City was taken from that performance. 2 kids got crushed to death in the front during that show.
It was nice and read that clip.
That was the first time anything like that had happened.
Yeah. Pretty fucking brutal because it was a massive successful tour for them, and then they found out
They'd never go back to Donington and play it ever again.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Hard to blame them for that. I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
You're traumatized. That's a mess.
Now you know why Axel's so big on crowd control.
Yeah, well, fair enough too.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
It's always a reason.
That's why I throw microphones at people's faces. Yeah.
Get
back.
There we go. All right, that brings the mood back. Let's see here. Terry's here saying hi. All good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well. Adrian says, I say AC/DC on the Money tour. I don't know if that's the album bought. They dropped money on the crowd during that song. Okay.
Razor's Edge. That was Money Talks.
Okay, Money Talks. There we go.
Yeah, the Angus Bill.
There we go. Vinny says, evening gang, loving the engineered stone background. Nice upgrade for the kitchen. Yeah, well, that's kind of what we are at the moment. It's a kitchen backdrop. Oh, fucking insects flying over me and everything. Johnny, good to see you. A new face here over on YouTube. Hey, anyone go to the cruise show in Melbourne? Now, I don't know if any of us did. No.
My boss went.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
I saw the same tour here in London a few months ago.
And you said it was really good, though. Like
it was brilliant. I couldn't fault them. I thought the crew were spot on. Vince was sounding great.
My boss said
was that him or was that backing tracks? I don't know. To be honest, couldn't tell. No, I thought they were great. However, I mean, Def Leppard came on after them, and really, you saw just the difference was immense. I think they had better songs. Def Leppard just write better songs, I think.
Yeah.
Well, didn't have the smoke and mirrors, and didn't need all of the explosions and all the flashiness, girls and all that stuff. They didn't need that. Def Leppard
let the music do the talking. Yeah.
And they did, and they were great. They were much better, I thought. Everyone did. Everyone went, yeah. Leopard, the show belonged to them for sure.
Yeah. What did your boss say about it, Dave?
Yeah, he said it was good. He spoke mostly about Motley Crue, didn't mention Def Leppard much, but yeah, he enjoyed it. Said he's seen them on every tour that they've done. He said Vince is the best he's sounded in a few years. So
he had, absolutely.
I agree.
Cool. 100%. Well, credit where due. Like honestly, everyone likes to put the boot in, but credit where due. When someone pulls the finger out and does a good job, then you got to give the credit. So I haven't heard a bad thing about it.
I mean, obviously they're not going to be what they were 30 years ago.
Bad thing about them when I saw them, I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Well, the funny thing is just following whatever you see on social. We haven't seen anyone on the entire tour of Australia say anything negative about the show. No one said anything bad about it at all. There's no negative footage, no negative comments. Everyone's been pretty good.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like they were expecting it to be shit, and it wasn't. And
Yep. Which is fair enough too.
Exactly. Yeah. I lived so under fucking the rock that I didn't even realize they were playing until after the fucking show. Oh, fucking stupid am I?
How did you not know, dude?
I don't know how I didn't know. I just didn't know. And then I'm like, wait, Motley Crue played here? Oh, fuck. I wanted to go to see that too. Oh,
man, whatever rock you're living under, I want to live there because I get depressed every time somebody announces they're coming. It's just like, I can't fucking go. Too many concerts.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, that's it.
Welcome to my world, Dave.
That's it for Bell. Yeah, I do.
Try living. It's gets a bit frustrating.
Oh, shut up, Conrad. We know you have the good life.
Yeah, you've got nothing to be frustrated about.
Yeah.
All right. In the comments, Adrian said, thanks, Dave, for clearing things up. Michael's here saying, hi, everyone. Good to see you.
Hey.
Same with Darren. Good to see you, too. Guy over in Denmark is here with us as well. Good to see you again, as always. Vinny says, my sister and her boyfriend went. They felt Def Leppard really blew it out of the ballpark. Anyone catch Nicky's rant towards the Brisbane crowd? He was recorded sitting on the edge of the stage, calling them boring for not standing up. Okay, I didn't see or hear anything about that. Considering
well, that's old school. Cool.
Yeah. There you go.
Not cool at all.
I don't know. We'll see. Kai says tonight it's going to be Maiden all the way, although they disappointed me live in 2007-ish. Well, we'll see what happens with the battle tonight. That's yet to come.
Why?
But Basher says, heard today via YouTube, AI version where Bon Scott was singing You Shook Me All Night Long. Interesting, but Brian owns the song. Okay, I haven't heard that. I don't really like that sort of thing too much about AI.
No.
When they did the thing last week, about the Beatles, that was cool. Doing that sort of stuff, not so much. All right.
Yeah. But
let's get back on track.
See a lot of it. We're going to see a lot of it. Yeah,
we are. Unfortunately, it's going to be the way of the world. But we'll have plenty of time to talk about those things and more as we move through things. But let's do the rounds. Dave, how has your week been?
Yeah, been good. Spent most of Sunday up on the roof, not doing what Eddie Munson does in Stranger Things and playing Master of Puppets, unfortunately. I had a fun job at cleaning up the gutters that I do around this time of year. Cleaning all the gutters, trim back a lot of the trees and shit, getting ready for Christmas. Usually after Halloween, I'm in Christmas mode, but I'm just not feeling it this year. But during the week, Jade said, I'm starting to get in the Christmas spirits. I'm like, fuck it. What about me? I started getting it done. Got some more stuff to do this weekend, and I think the following weekend we put everything up, which takes about a day to do.
Yeah,
we decked the whole house out, but yeah, just got to get motivated because just not into it this year. But I will be for the kids. On a more bright note,
man.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. Just too much shit.
Yeah.
Fuck the Reserve Bank. But yeah, on some good news. Got to give a shout out and a thanks to Nudes, who usually comments and watches the show and plugs us in Adelaide, and is involved with Pull the Plug patches.
Oh, yeah.
He sent me 2 of them. The Iron Maiden one,
cool,
and Thin Lizzy one.
Oh, awesome,
really fucking nice.
I like
already got one of both for both bands, but I'm putting them on the sides so I don't get them sewn on the weekend. But yeah, just asked me to do a shout out. So pull the plug patches, get on them. They're online. Got some fucking awesome stuff, especially if you're into the more heavier stuff. They got some really cool stuff. Yeah. They sell battle jackets as well, different colors and pins. Metal pins. Yeah,
cool.
Pull the plug patches. Get on that shit. Thanks, man. That was much appreciated.
Dave, remind me to chat more to you about that later on. We'll do something as a bit of a thank you for that. So yeah, give me.
Cool.
Don't let me forget. I want to do something. For that.
Yeah. Nudes is a good bloke. He
Nudes
plugs us in Adelaide too on his Facebook.
Yeah. It's one of the best people going around. Nudes. He's got a lot of time for us. A lot of love for him. I'm glad that came through for you, man. That's awesome. Anything else you want to?
No, all good. Jeff, how you doing, man?
Yeah, same old. You know. Yeah, not really much new in my neck of the woods. I was trying to think. Yeah, not really much new. I mean, I just work, sleep, shit, get up, do it again, all over again, and that's just my life. It's the
the vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle. That's right. And but it is what it is, and I'm not going to complain. There's worse things that could be, you know. So, yeah, so another day, another dollar, another year older.
Well, just on that note, Jeff did have a birthday earlier this week. So if you missed
happy birthday, Jeff.
Getting the comments, happy birthday to Jeff now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe this year was the year for you, mate. So let's just sort of do what we can to keep you chipper this year, and we'll make things for you all around.
Look, this has been the last 12 months, basically. It's been a dream for me, really. Can't complain. I'm living it. So yeah.
Nice. Cool.
So anyway, thanks for asking, Conrad.
Yeah, busy, really busy. Just trying to obviously deal with house hunting. Still dealing with house hunting. A lot of house hunting going on, and just a lot of admin stuff at home to deal with. But I had my rock night. My rock night was last Friday and went well. Went rather well with me. Nice. So I was DJing that, and then I DJ'd the following night at somebody else's gig. I was pulled in to DJ another gig, which was great. And I'm DJing again this Friday. I'm doing another rock night this Friday. So pretty busy. Cool. A lot of rock DJing, which is great fun. I really enjoy that. It's good.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad that's something you do, especially with the shit fight you got going trying to find a house. At least you got something that's actually, you know.
Yeah, it's nice, and it makes my weekends a little less expensive because I get some beers out of it and a bit of cash out of it too.
That's good.
That helps. That helps definitely. For sure.
That's the way to go. Cool. Best beer in the world is a free beer.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Free beer is always good. It's fantastic. Over to you, Belle.
It tastes pretty good. Kind of a mix of everyone doing stuff, work really, busy, home stuff, busy.
How long are you going to be?
It's been staying off. Not that I'm a big social.
You're going anywhere near the shops?
What are they called? Social media?
Social media.
God, I really blanked on that. Gen X. I've been like avoiding that because I find that it chews a bit of time, and I've just kind of had a bit of time out. So that's been good. It's given me back time to just, not get like sucked into that. YouTube's different. YouTube I find quite interesting, just watching stuff and go down rabbit holes, and I find it valuable. But anyway, so that's I've been a bit quiet on there, guys. So apologies for that, but I do that every now and then. I'll come back in. I was sitting
Unplugging
here
is good, Belle. Unplugging is good.
It's been good actually.
Yep.
It's freed me up to just kind of think about other stuff and do other stuff. Yep. I will say though that when I was sitting here looking at YouTube, I must have been scrolling and there was a quiet moment for me and my son Ellis, who's 13, in case anyone doesn't know, his room is right there. And he's sitting there and sometimes he's like plays games online with his mates. So I can hear what he's saying. And I heard him say something like, I'm just going to go down this back alley and get some stuff. And like that pricked my ears. I'm like, what? And he's like, okay, I've got some crack now. I'm like, what the hell is he playing? And so I got up and I walked in and I said, what are you playing? And he's like, oh, Minecraft. I'm like, what? How? And he's like, yeah, look.
Man.
He's like, I'm playing Minecraft. And he's like, oh, I said, I heard you just say this. And Minecraft was on his screen. And he goes, oh, yeah, Leo calls TNT explosive crack. I'm like, oh, what? Like, what? Things have changed a lot in the last year since these kids moved to high school. Apparently, being edgy while
and now dealing crack at school, are they?
Yeah, dealing crack while playing Minecraft.
Digital crack, even better.
Explosive.
Did you get crack in Tasmania?
Just ask crack.
You can. Yeah. This is where it's all manufactured, baby.
Oh,
sent out to the world. Yeah. Not many teeth down here. Anyway, so other than that, it's just been kind of dull.
Let's employ Belle for Tourism Tasmania, shall we?
I thought that was Cranbourne, man.
I thought so too.
Oh no. No, Cranbourne or here, and half of Cranbourne probably comes from here.
Possible.
Or vice versa.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Very possible.
Anyway, that's about it for me. How you going, Andrew?
Pretty good. Like everything, same old. Everything's busy, flat out. This time of year is always extra busy because it's just a case of getting 8 weeks worth of TV done in about 4. So that's where a lot of my time is going at the moment. Dave knows this whole setup very, very well by now. But we're getting there, getting through it, just chipping away at it bit by bit. In the middle of all this, because we're still building, we've had some massive heat wave warnings up here too. So I sort of had to sort of cut the day job stuff a bit short and come back and make sure the dog isn't cooking and all that sort of stuff and get him in out of the like he's sheltered and stuff, but it's one thing to be sheltered, one thing to be supervised and sort of maintained temperature control wise. So just sort of do what we have to do to
what constitutes a heat wave in Queensland? Because it's always hot there. So how hot does it get for them to declare a heat wave?
The last 2 days
Over 45.
No, 38 plus is where they start to call it.
38's not that bad.
That's gross. 38.
Yeah, 44, your body organs shut down. So fuck that.
Yeah. And for dogs.
Hey, over summer, upstairs at my work can get over 60. Toughen up.
I've worked in 50 plus hammering stakes into the ground before. It's not fun. But the thing is that dogs, the way they cool down with the panting and that, you got to make sure they've got cool air around them because they can't sweat like we do to cool off. So it's a bit of a different game for them to that. So we make sure all the animals are okay. And there's a pool being built, which is cool. And I'm actually drinking my first batch of homebrew myself that I made, which is cool. It's coming up nicely. So drinking my own whiskey at the moment.
What sort of alcohol is it? Whiskey.
It's moon. You start off with the moonshine, which we make out of a sugar and yeast brew, and then we put what we call neck minute alcohol because we flavor it. But we've got wood chips and that kicking around up here as well, so we'll start doing some longer batches once we get the new one in. We had a 21st birthday here the other day, and so a lot of the batch that we made for that one went into the slushy machines for the birthday party. So we had alcoholic slushy kicking around. So whilst we made a new batch and got, about 10 liters worth of alcohol out of it, we have to go back and make some more now because we sort of made a fair dent with the slushy machine and we've all made our little brews and sort of doing our thing. So I have to put another batch on, probably do that Monday-ish, I reckon, start another one. It takes about a week or so to do them. No, actually, probably a couple of weeks. So a week to sort of ferment, a week to clear, and then you still it out, cook it off, which is cool. No, but that's my first one, which is I'm pretty proud of that.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'll start making some small batch kind of stuff and letting them steep with different chips and that, and having some real fun with the flavoring once we sort of have a little bit of a stockpile, because we do like to drink up here. So it's yeah, that's the tricky part.
We all like to drink. Everyone.
I know. I'll have to send you a bottle, Dave, to ease the burden on your habits there. Get you off the Aldi wine, get you off the Aldi wine, get you on a Brownies brew. That'll fuck you up. Right now,
I'm marking that shit. Mark that shit. That's perfect.
Yeah.
This shit right now is about 50% that I'm drinking, so it's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Be on the floor.
Oh, dude, you got to hook me up for next year.
Yeah.
Man, we got to start fresh.
So yeah, it's a bit of fun. But yeah, so that's been the highlight of my week, if you can't tell. But no, everything's good. Jody says hello to everyone as always. And
hey, Jody.
She's keeping well. She actually got promoted. She's now the manager at her job now already within like a month.
She's been there for 2 days. Far out.
She'll be the owner next year.
Yeah, so that's she's just picking goals wherever she goes. It's just the way she's wired. She always just steps up and becomes a leader. So,
legend.
Which is fantastic. Great. That was some good news as well. So everything sort of, all those things ticking along. Sort of hopefully building the house is still going along too. So we should be in by Christmas, it looks like. So we'll sort of keep chipping away and see how we go. Fingers crossed, but yeah, whatever. We're still comfortable. Everything's pretty cozy and good. But yeah, everyone's good. Nice here. Alrighty. So Michael says, nice patches. So yes, Dave, don't let me forget about that. All right. Which is cool. Adrian says happy birthday to Jeff. Rowan has a cake there as well. There we go. Michael says happy birthday, Jeff. Best late wishes, you rock, man. So there we go.
Thank you.
Same with Terry. Happy birthday. Bash, happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
And Adrian, very cool. Conrad, I believe that's when it comes to the backdrop and or the gigging, the nightclub and free beer stuff, which is cool too. Michael says whiskey is in a barrel for 2 years to be called whiskey as in legally. Yeah, we know all the technicalities. We're not doing any of that sort of stuff. We're just making moonshine at the moment. We'll start to expand on that as we go through. Rowan's going, it's not real whiskey if it doesn't come from the Scottish region of whiskey.
Man, I couldn't leave alcohol in a barrel for 2 years. It'd fucking kill me.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun.
Rules.
What
about 12?
So no, 12 years in a barrel. I'm not waiting that long. Vinny says, I can send you the painkillers. I'm on after my nose up, Dave. It'd be a lot of fun with Andrew's homebrew. So there you go. Yeah, post-op painkillers. Hopefully you're doing well, man. Yeah, hopefully that went well for you.
Painkillers and homebrew. Can you imagine me on that shit? We've seen some pretty classic nights with me recently.
Yes, we have. Bash is gone. Happy days, Andrew. But here's one for Dave. Darren says, hey, Andrew, I've offered Dave some bottles of Beam a few times. He hasn't taken it up. So Dave?
Message me, man. I've got to find a way to hook up with you. Or not hook up with you, but
gross. No wonder he wants to get rid of it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's free. If it's free,
it's free. I've never thrown up Jack Daniels. I've thrown up Jim Beam plenty of times, but I still want it. It's free.
All right.
No, never thrown up Jack Daniels.
No. Well, let's see how we go. But all right, let's move on. Let's get into things now. I'm going to try and keep us a bit more on point tonight. It is fun, but we do have a lot to get through. I want to try and get us not a 4-hour session like it was last time for Darren. Darren, I saw that was like 4 hours. Fuck. Alrighty, so let's get on to our songs of the week. We have tweaked the format this week. We're probably going to change it again after tonight because we have had some discussions behind the scene. I wanted to try, because we've only got a few streams left this year, I want to try a few things, try and tighten things up and still get as much bang for buck in, but still make it so that we keep moving things along. So what we've done this week, like I said, probably change for next week. What we're doing this week is for our songs of the week, we have, instead of everyone doing all 5 songs and so on and so forth, what we're going to do this time around is everyone put a song into the which I'm going to share now in the comments. So you'll see who shared them, what they're from, all sorts of stuff in the comments. Now there'll be links there for them. I don't know if they're all going to come through at the one time. Actually, it's probably going to fuck it up, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, I'll do them one at a time then. Sorry. So first up this week, Conrad. That's just really fucking made a mess of it. Sorry, I've just really smashed the comments then. But quickly though, Michael said, otherwise I'm going to lose my place. Michael said, was it Yarra Valley Whiskey, who my old school buddy owns on weekend for bike ride with homebrew buddies on Warburton Trail and tasted all his produce? Wow, man, that'd be cool. We're looking forward to little things like that together up here too. So don't worry about that. We're going to have some fun with it. Alrighty, but on to the songs of the week. This week, Conrad put in Rasputin from Turisas. So that's Conrad's one that's in the comments now. I'm going to move on. Dave put Måneskin Off My Face into consideration. Jeff went back to Green Lung and put their new single Hunters in the Sky off the new album in there as well. So these are all going in the comments now. Bell chose a new Aussie one, which is from Caligula's Horse, which is the track Golem. And I went with a tried and true favorite here at the show with the Lazies and their new single Rattle Them Bones. So all those in the comments. If you miss them in the comments, if you're tuning in later on, they're in the description box. So make sure you go and check those out. So yeah, they're there to go and have a look at. So you can check out for yourself. What we're going to do this time around is we're all going to do two things here. One is we're going to obviously talk about the song we chose and why we chose it, but also have been tasked with everyone has to choose one song from someone else's suggestions, and talk about that. So whichever one got their attention the most, they're going to talk about that one. So we're going to do this via random order. Let's just see who comes out first. Conrad, you get to kick us off. So let's see whose song got your attention this week.
Oh, well, they all did for different reasons, I guess. Yep. Not necessarily good ones.
Oh, shots fired.
Here we go. Conrad, true
those are
to
good
form.
reasons, but nevertheless got potential for different reasons. Look,
yep.
I think the one that's probably most agreeable with me, the one I could digest probably the easiest, was yours, Andrew, the Lazies.
Okay, cool.
I found that one the most probably agreeable to me. For the fans of Avalanche and Airborne, you're probably going to like this. This is nothing new. Sounds very Australian, of course, very AC/DC sort of based. But, you know, good heavy pop, sort of pop rock. Oh, it's a pop rock. Pop. I don't know. Maybe pop's the wrong word to use, but
I'd just say pub rock, which is easily consumed.
Yeah, it's pub rock, but it's also a bit commercial in the sense that it's got very commercial sing along, sort of straightforward rock song. Yeah. So yeah, for those that like Avalanche or like Airborne or like AC/DC, you're probably going to enjoy this, I don't doubt. Or maybe the Screaming Jets, that sort of stuff. You'll probably enjoy this. The Angels. So Bogan Rock, you'll love it.
That works. All right.
That works. Bogan Rock, I'm sure you're gonna. This is up your stream, definitely.
Yeah.
So you get this makes you want to wear a flanny for sure.
Nice. All right. We'll circle around, then we'll come back and do a random of why we picked our own songs for the week as well. So next up, we're going to have Jeff. So which song got your attention this week?
Which song got my attention this week that wasn't my own? Well, as it happens, the guy that's just had a chat before me, your song, Andrew, once again, the Lazies. Rattle Them Bones. I really, really liked it. Yeah, you could hear AC/DC in there, Airborne, other bands. It was like there's nothing really original in this, but that doesn't matter because it's a fucking banger song. It's just great. Singer, love his voice, kick ass. He's right up there with the best of them. I found that the song really had like a primitive energy that really drives the groove. And that in turn drives the whole song. It's not overly complex, but just straight ahead, whiskey laden rock and roll, as I call it. And which is suitable because you're drinking some homemade whiskey. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it doesn't need to. It does what it says on the tin, and that's all it needs to do. And it really does it in spades. I love the part in the video where they all stop playing and they're all looking around, and then the drummer brings it back and just kicks the groove in, bang. That's a really kind of cool thing. Really gets the blood pumping. I just loved it. I'm looking forward to hearing more from. Obviously, they got a new album going to be coming out soon.
I figured as much. There's no word on that yet, but fingers crossed. But the last album, Tropical Hazards, was fucking great. It made like a bunch of our top 10s the year it came out. So it's a good one.
So I'm definitely if it's going to sound like this, then this is so much energy here. It's great. So I loved it.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm doing well so far. Belle, what one got your attention this week?
Well, I didn't actually. Well, first of all, I didn't actually watch any of the videos except mine because I was just watching on the listening on the playlist.
Yep.
Maybe I should go back and watch these videos, but I'll do that.
It's not
I'll worry
required.
about that later.
Yeah.
I didn't want to choose one. I felt, I don't know. I didn't want to choose one. So what I did was I used a randomizer and I just randomly pulled one out.
Cool.
Cool.
Which happened to be Conrad's.
Nice.
So I thought, okay, Conrad's. Listened to it a few times, and I thought I'll write down some notes. So I will just go with what I've got in front of me here. I picked this using okay, yeah, I've fucking covered that. All right. So I think this is a perfectly executed metal cover of a very non-metal song.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it could have been done better, actually. They've given it an almost piratey metal feel.
Yeah.
The use of the fiddle really adds to that vibe. I literally get, and I agree with what I've written here. I've being a dickhead writing this, but I get a strong urge to drink rum and do a little jig, which I literally do.
Speaking of, that's what I flavored my neck minute alcohol with. It's rum.
Rub it in, dude.
A lot. Oh,
that's called rubbing alcohol.
The weather makes you want to drink rum, doesn't it?
Yes.
And then you listen to a song like this, and you just think, I need
dance
that
around the
in
fire
my stomach and my bloodstream. Yeah.
Skyclad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to do listening to this.
Yep.
Anyway, so the execution of this song is incredibly hard to fault. The guitars are metal as drumming is doing what it needs to do. The vocals take it all the way home. Lead and gang vocals, tuneful fun, but actually demonstrating talent, which is the only way you can really get away with something like this. It's just too bad the whole thing is fucking ridiculous, and I absolutely hate it. I hated the original song, and the metal version is just as bad.
It's fun. Come on.
It's silly fun.
It's fun. You should try.
It was really well done. I just fucking hated it. I thought it was stupid.
You gotta see the video. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
I don't know about that. All right, fine. I'll watch it.
Be good.
It was a great.
You played the video a bunch of times, didn't it?
I just didn't like it. I just thought it was dumb. But it was fun. It was just stupid.
Dumb.
It gets stuck in your head.
Like this is
in my head
like
now.
the most backhanded review. It's like I liked it, but it was shit. Like
it's fun, but
exactly
it's dumb.
how I feel.
Heaven forbid. What you're trying to say is you don't want to admit that you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the musicianship, but I hated that I was enjoying it. Yes, so you're probably right.
Oh fuck. We'll twist you some more, Bill. Don't worry about that.
Very nice.
I know you will.
All right, is there anything else you want to add there? Or are we?
Yeah, that's enough from me.
All righty, Dave, over to you.
All righty. Left to choice, I'm gonna go Australian, which is just what we do here. Yeah. But I remember years ago when I first started doing the hard rock show, I interviewed a local musician. We were talking about the local scene, and he said, regardless of what type of music you're into, Australia has a band that will suit your taste. I 100% agree with that.
Yes.
So I had the Lazies initially, and then Bell posted Caligula's Horse. I did not know they had a new song on, and I fucking love this band. We've reviewed a few albums of theirs in the past. They are fantastic. So a few people have done speaking about the Lazies. They're fantastic. I love the Lazies, but I love Caligula's Horse as well, so I'm going to give them some love. A very cool song. Like I said, I didn't know this was released. We've reviewed some in the past. Local progressive metal, which is right up my alley. Nice shifts between sections, intricate guitar lines within the verses, chunky chords in the chorus, interesting instrumental sections. There's some wankery, but it's not over the top, I don't think. The guitar solo is really cool. It's almost understated. He could have gone nuts, but he reined it in, which, depending on what part of prog you like, it could be disappointing, but it could be spot on. Vocals are cool, and it all takes place within the world of Lord of the Rings, which is cool, so that song's fucking awesome. So I'm going with Caligula's Horse. But the Lazies is cool too.
Nice. Which leaves me, funnily enough, on the random thing. Now, just for the record, I enjoyed all the songs. I did listen to them all. We listened to them all, obviously. But Rasputin, we've done before on the show. We played it, so that's a lot of fun. That is just a dumb, fun song. The Måneskin album, Dave, you and I both reviewed that one, and we both loved the album, so that's a cool track there. Jeff, I haven't listened to the album yet, but the 2 tracks you've made me have put forward make me want to listen to the album. So I did like that one too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go for my own song, but I'm going to go with Caligula's Horse. That was one that got my attention the most because these guys out of Brisbane just never disappoint. They are just a stunningly good band. They're impressive, but I love the mix of technicality and groove in this particular song. It's got this cool snap to it. It's got the rumble and warmth in the bottom end, but the vocals just float over the top of this song. It's just wonderfully put together. But then when it kicks into the chunkier side of things, there's this nice swing and groove to it. The speedier side of this song is where I really has my blood pumping for it. But there's a lot to take in. With one song, there's a lot of gear change. There's the slower, softer touches in there. It's one of those songs where it's rewarding on many, many listens where, things like the Lasers, which is my choice, you can listen to it once and you'll know exactly what you're getting. When you come to a song like this, you can listen to it multiple times. You'll pick up something different every single time you listen to it, which is really, really cool. I reckon it's hard to listen to it, not get swept up in it. I just really enjoyed it. I reckon it'd be a lot of fun live, this particular track as well. But there's great collective talent and energy on display. And just when you think they've squeezed all they can into one song, there's a midsection where there's this really even more powerful slow moment that's just wonderfully aided by harmony, which is just a really nice touch in there. I think if you miss bands like 12 Foot Ninja, this will scratch that itch, but at the same time, it's a lot more accessible and catchy than what 12 Foot Ninja would generally do. Great tones in this one. The guitar solo is phenomenal for mine, and the way it builds to the end is fantastic. It's overall a really damn well written, performed, and mixed song. I think bring on the new album. The new album is Charcoal Grace, due I think February from memory, 2024.
Cool.
So yeah. I'm glad Bell put this one forward because like Dave, I wasn't aware this was out, so I loved the bits, but. That was very cool, but I did like all the songs. But now we're going to go through again. Let's see who talks about their song they chose and why. And Conrad, we're going to start with you again. So you chose Rasputin. What made you go with that one this week? Have we lost Conrad?
I think it's just a really solidly decent cover. I think it's a great cover. It's an interesting track for a band to choose, and they've done it really, really well. They've done this brilliantly, and I've seen this. I've played this on, this goes down a storm when I play this in rock clubs. This goes down really, really well. Everyone goes ape shit for it. I saw these guys play at where was it? It was Soundwave. It came out on Soundwave, and to be honest, they pretty much stole it. They pretty much stole Soundwave. They were that good that seeing other bands after these guys live was like, you just got your ass fed to you. These guys were unbelievably good. They were just really, really, really good. A great band. They've got accordions and fiddles, and but it's done really, really, really well. And if you listen to not just that song, but their other stuff, they're really decent band. So. They're not so much the pirate thing; they're more of the Viking kind of vibe to them. But certainly visually, maybe not sonically, but they fit into those people that like. I don't know those kind of other bands, I guess. Of that,
if you like Amon Amarth, you'll probably get a kick out of Turisas.
Folk metal, that folk metal kind of stuff. But really, really, really good. But as I said, I saw these. At Soundwave one year and went and saw their sideshow, I think, as well.
Cool.
And was just absolutely blown away at how good they were.
Nice.
System of a Down came on after these, and it was like, not impressed. I was not impressed by System at all in compared to these guys. These guys were great on a smaller stage, on a much smaller stage,
2012.
tiny little stage. They were so good. If you ever get the chance to see Turisas live, go see them. You will not be disappointed. They're fantastic.
Well, they've been quiet for a while, so fingers crossed they come back soon. Yeah.
They have been quiet for a very long time now, so I'd like to see them reappear, do something. Yeah. Sure.
Be good to get them back. Fingers crossed. Would be good. All right. I'm not sure if we're on the same pattern, but Jeff, over to you. Your pick was Green Lung again. So what made you go with this one?
Yeah, look, when I discovered these guys a little while back, I just fell in love with these guys. I really did. And so I wanted to hear what the new album was like. I had already listened to some of their other stuff, and I really liked it. So I listened to it, and I'll just kind of read what I wrote down, what I scribbled down. I think that there's a real 70s Sabbath doom laden sort of sound here, but there's also something, and I don't know if this word doesn't even exist, but a modern-esque sound. I just
the word now.
Yep. Yeah, it exists now.
Well,
I've coined it modern-esque.
Modern-esque.
Yeah, and so look, well, I was looking for the right word and I couldn't find it, and so I went, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna write it down and fuck it."
Sure, I've used it a few times.
Well, you might have. I don't know. It doesn't exist. It's not a real word. So if you coined it, hey, hats off to you. Then I'm sorry. I'm not going to pay you fucking royalties. So,
I'm not going to do a Gene Simmons on your ass. Don't worry.
No. Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah. That ain't going to go there. But look, this singer. I don't know what he's going for, but in his vocals, you can hear a bit of Ozzy. Okay, clearly there's an Ozzy.
Yeah, there's a bit of Ozzy.
Yeah.
But even more so than Ozzy, you can hear Tobias Forge, and I really can hear Ghost here.
Really?
Yeah, and at times, I can actually, when you listen, especially when you listen to the whole album as a whole, there's songs on here that really remind me of Ghost to the point where it feels like this could have been lifted straight from a Ghost album. Does have that vibe. So you can hear it. He's got the higher register. That's right. There's a higher register there.
There's a lot in this.
There is a lot.
Yeah.
And I got that as well, Conrad. I did. And that higher register. And it's not for everyone, but I personally really like it. I think it's really, for me, his voice actually makes the band. All the musicians here are great, but his singing seems to elevate the music to another level. And it's funny because the band is marketed as a doom metal band, but really there's just way much more than that. The video, I love the video here, this song. It's got a real spooky, macabre vibe going to it. It reminded me, there's a lot of occult things happening. And I really get that from most of the music, but it comes across as, it doesn't seem like they're overusing it or it's a crutch, and it's not cliche. So if you couldn't tell by now, I really like these guys, and I've listened to their new album, The Heathen Land, a number of times from beginning to end. And if anyone out there is listening and they like this song, you're gonna love this album. But really, there is a Ghost vibe happening here with these guys. So if you don't like Ghost, you're probably not gonna like them. Maybe. I found like there's a difference. Yeah. I mean, there is a difference clearly, but there's just something, especially if you listen to the album. You guys will. Trust me, you'll understand what the album itself I found was very well recorded. The instruments are mixed well. Everything is really clear, and there's a broad talent and musicianship on show here. And I get the idea that the guitar player, you get the idea that this guy is a real player. He can shred if he wants to, but he is very tasteful and respectful for the music. And you can tell that he's playing what the song needs and nothing more. And I think that really suits their overall sound. And if anyone out there does like this song, check out their album, because the last song on this album, I know it's not about this album or this song, but there's a song on there called Oceans of Time, which is my personal favorite on the album. And if you listen to that and then tell me that I'm fucking crazy about my Ghost comparison, because I know you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. Yeah. Overall, I think these guys are going to do pretty well. They're signed to Nuclear Blast. Which should give them some exposure. They need to, for a wider audience, and I hope they get the chance because the music's good and it deserves to be heard by as many people as possible. And I'm really hoping that our resident UK music guru out there gets a chance to see these guys, because I would really like to see or hear what they sound like in concert. So, Conrad, go to their website, because they list all the dates they're playing in the UK coming up in December.
Cool. Okay. So there's a lot going on in December. All right, I'll have to see if I can get kids.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Fucking poor dude.
Oh well. Anyway, that's it. That's all.
You have no idea the pain.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go next, and obviously we all know that my pick was the Lazies with Rattle and Bones, and we've, like Dave and I have discussed, we've loved these guys and what they do for ages at the show, and I've been hoping for a new album sooner rather than later, because Tropical Hazards was 2019 or something. I think it was from memory. I could be wrong on that one. Don't fact check me on that one. I'm not quoting that. I just forget what year it was. But yeah, no, the Lazies are one of those bands where if you like Aussie hard rock, you're going to enjoy this. I love the groove, but the rumble in the drums in particular just nails it as a wonderful counterpoint to the vocals. It is all very much, yeah, it's been said before, it's not reinventing anything, but the way it sounds and the energy that they have is one of those things where it's hard to deny just how infectious it is. The hook in the chorus is amazing. It will get stuck in your head due to that and the pure energy of the song that I was talking about before. But for all that, they use space really well, and each verse sort of builds nicely to the chorus. They've really mastered sort of what notes to leave silent on a song like this as well, which is something you don't normally say about this sort of, four to the floor Aussie hard rock kind of thing. But they just knew when to leave a gap, and it was a nice little touch to it. It's a straightforward hard rock banger, nothing complicated, but there's just something magic about these guys, and this song for me is sort of, a good way to sum it all up. Great solo on this one as well. I love the writing under that part too. The rhythm section under there was really cool. But if you like AC/DC, Airborne, other bands we mentioned here tonight, then you'll definitely get a kick out of these guys. But there's so much more to them than this as well. Like you'll get those obvious comparisons, but Dave, you and I both love things like Half-Mast Blues on the last album, that kind of stuff.
Sounds fantastic.
I know they've got some great tongue-in-cheek lyrical work as well. Like they're really clever and funny and entertaining without going Steel Panther. Really just sort of ride the edge really nicely.
It's subtle and it's clever.
Yeah, they're very cool. Like I said, they're not reinventing anything, but they're doing it so much better than so many other bands. Like a lot of bands in this world aspire to be as good as what these guys are, as far as I'm concerned. These guys just know how to get your attention and to hold it. And I think the video was cool as well. Like Jeff mentioned, there's a cool moment in there. If you like hard rock, get onto these guys. I mean, it's not too late. Obviously, their last few albums have been fantastic, and fingers crossed get another one soon. It's been a few years, so I'm looking forward to more from these guys, hopefully in the near future. But that's why I chose the Lazies, because we've had a long affinity for them, and just looking forward to more, hopefully. All right, Belle, from one Aussie actor to another, you went with where was it? Sorry, Caligula's Horse. So let us know how you found it and what made you choose it.
Oh, I was on YouTube looking for a song of the week. This was the first cab off the rank to come up on my feed, and I watched it and looked no further because it was. I just didn't think I could do any better than this because it's fucking awesome. Look, when I started watching the song, they had my attention with the intro to the song, but I was sold and in for the ride when I heard that riffing during the verses. First, like I was listening to it and I'm like, yeah, this is cool. And I thought, they've got it pulled back a bit too much. It was a bit quiet, but the bass was popping and doing its thing, and the drums were doing their thing, and it sounded awesome. But I realized that it was mixed perfectly because, like soon after they just give you like a beefier version of that riff, and it just full force for a few, for a bit, and then they pull back again for the next verse, and I'm like, okay. That they know exactly what they're doing, and it just the contrast was awesome. So, and you kind of you expect that on repeat listens, and it just gets better and better. And you said that, Andrew. Or sorry, someone said it. I'm like, yep.
Each listen, you got something new out of it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and I've listened to this song, in a few days since I found it over and over and over, and I love it. It's just, it doesn't get boring or old. It's just so fucking cool. The chorus is fantastic. The melody is simple, but the vocals just soar. There's beautiful harmonies in there too. And there's a couple of bars before the chorus that I really like when the music quietens and there's like an effect they put on the vocals. Just these little touches all the way through are really cool. They change it up slightly at the end of the second chorus, and they change the vocal melody, and they not to overuse this term, but the vocals just soar even more. Drummers like smashing his china, which I'm just an absolute sucker for. I love it when they do that. And then there's this beautiful harmonized bridge. I think it's a bridge. Let's just call it that.
That middle part.
It just there's this, it's like they step it up from the chorus. Like there's just goes into this beautiful harmonized melody with these dissonant notes, and like they're just whoa, just do more of that shit. That is so cool. I absolutely loved it, and they kind of repeated that a couple of times, which was great. Possibly my favorite. Like I love the whole thing, but like that was really just special. Love the airy guitar solo that sits on top of, and is in beautiful contrast to like the genty guitar riff that's going on underneath it in that section. Really cool. These guys are just because you obviously know them. I've never heard of them before. Don't know why this came up on my feed. Cool. Again, it might be because I've been listening to more of this style of music lately. They did remind me a little bit of Tesseract. I put up a song not too long ago. They're sort of like a modern proggy type thing.
I got
maybe that's vibe. Why. Yeah, it kind of got that a bit. But then, like particularly in the verses, I was getting kind of a bit of old school stuff, like maybe a bit of Tool, even some Incubus in some parts, like with the melodic vocals.
Earlier stuff,
but just they just brought so much into this song. I have listened to, just on the back of that, I went and listened to a couple of their other songs. Loved what I was hearing, so cannot wait. And they're like, they're in my own backyard, or more your backyard, Andrew, than mine. But they're Aussie. Like that's so cool. So yeah, I was stoked when I found this.
They're good.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Glad you like
All right. Well, one to go. Dave, over to you with Off My Face. It's like a special edition of the Rush album from this year, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. They tacked an extra 5 songs at the start.
Yep.
Tell Jade I got it for her for Christmas on CD because she has a CD band. So.
Awesome, man. That's cool.
But yeah, she loves this band and she's been asking for a CD for a very long time. And it's like, well, they're an overseas band. You're not going to get one. And fuck, JB Hi-Fi has them. That gives you an indication because you don't get physical media from new bands. And JB Hi-Fi has a special edition from this. Me and Jade were both very excited for new music from this band. So I think they should have just released it as a 5-track EP, but they tacked it onto the actual album on one disc. So, but come last Friday, had the songs actually saved because Jade saved them on my phone. She's like, Dad, you need to have these saved. So I gave them a listen, and we heard Honey Are You Coming? That was from a few weeks ago. The other 4 songs are all very different. 2 rocker songs, 2 ballads, all fantastic. This is probably the most standoutish of all 4. Probably not as good as Honey Is You Coming. But as soon as I picked up Jade from school that day, she heard them at school. And she's like, oh my God, did you hear them? I was like, yeah, just like we both picked this song. But it's exactly what you expect from this band. Straightforward pop rock, nice build with a solid groove, cool funky guitar lines. They keep it. It's pretty simple what they do, but fuck, it's effective. The thing I like about this band is they know when not to play. They have space in their songs, and then it builds anticipation for the next part. The rhythm's infectious. Great hook to the chorus. Lyrics get you right from the start. Great storytelling, as you would expect, for musicians that are writing great songs with lots of energy and enthusiasm. Bit of a crossover with the pop world, which is cool because it appeals to a lot of different audiences. I think this band is going to build a lot of gateways. They're actually going to play a metal festival in a few weeks. I saw on their Facebook page. So they cracked that audience. I'm going to be very fucking impressed.
That'll be cool.
But, I thought this song was very cool, Off My Face. But if you like this and you like the band, check out the other new songs on the album because it's all very good.
Honey Are You Coming was a good track as well. Yeah, good.
The 2 ballads are really good too, and the 5th song of the new one, they've multi-tracked his vocals with a high and lower register. I've never known them to do that before. And if you heard me talk about Locomotive and Chinese Democracy, I love multi-track vocals. So bringing those 2 together, it's very cool.
Nice. All right. Cool. Well, those are our songs of the week, and we changed it up this week. We're going to try and probably do something a bit different again next week, but let us know how you went with it. We've got some comments here to go through, as always. So Darren says, I hated Rasputin when Boney M did it. Now I really fucking hate it. So some love straight off the bat for that one. But Darren said, the Lazies wasn't bad. Darren said, Måneskin, nope. And Darren says, Caligula's Horse, just another prog band. Wow, Darren's on a tear tonight. Follow up with Green Lung. These guys have been listening to them for a few years. So obviously Darren went with Green Lung in the end. Michael says, okay. Caligula's Horse I really liked. Awesome track. My favorite of this bunch for me. Not bad for a Queensland band. I assume BPM would be much faster if they were from down south. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But they are a very cool, groovy, interesting band. Andrew says Caligula's Horse is a solid track, but I thought the vocals were too far back in the mix. Really?
I thought that too. They were a bit low.
Okay.
Exactly. Too low in the mix. Way too low in the mix.
They were right.
Way too low.
Yeah, I mean they're good vocals. They're just
higher up
down.
in the mix.
Yeah, that's right.
It would have been too much because not only the verses, but in the harmonies and the bridge. Yeah, there was so much there was a lot of harmonies going on. You wouldn't want it too much.
Engineer, producer, whoever did it for a reason. Yeah.
It sounds like he's singing too softly. Yeah, it sounds like he's singing softly.
I don't think he needed to belt out this song. He can when they want to. Interesting. No, that's cool though. That's a comment that's gotten some resonance. That's awesome. What do we got? Darren's gone awesome backhander, Bell, when it came to Rasputin.
That was
Michael says, I'm with you, Bell. Pretty much what I thought of Turisas. But Michael said, Lazies, I liked easy listening. It is an easy song. That one's not hard to get into at all. Basher says, love the Lazy song. Aussie rock at its best. It is one of those ones. It's definitely Aussie rock. You can tell it straight away. Vinny says, overall, really good collection of songs. Nothing from the 5 that doesn't agree with my ears. Caligula's Horse might pick of the bunch this week. So there we go. Nice one there from Vinny. Darren says, don't get the ghost vibes at all with Green Lung. So there we go. There's a contrast. But Basher says, I hear some Judas Priest with Green Lung songs. So we're getting a lot of... Green Lung seemed one of those really interesting melting pot.
Absolutely. Kind of maybe everyone hears something different, which is kind of cool too. Yeah,
which is nice. You want that sort of stuff, which is, it makes them stand out. Vinny says, I want to hear more feedback from Belle. She sounds like how we're all feeling at the end of this exhausting year. So there we go.
Oh, I know, Vinny.
Yeah, it's a bit like that.
I'm bugged too.
It is. We are nearly there, folks. A few weeks to go. Vinny says, I got a bit of a mid-2000 butterfly effect from Caligula's. Really familiar sound. That is they would be a good fit together. The two, actually.
I knew there was more bands that sound like someone I'm getting from this this band, and that's a good comp.
They would fit with that very nicely. Michael said, Måneskin off my face. Not my usual listen, but in some ways I hear a bit of a 30 Seconds to Mars, which Jolly makes sure I hear. That's way okay.
Way better than 30 seconds. Fuck.
I don't know them.
30 Seconds to Mars is one of those bands that Nikki absolutely loves to bits, and we'll always go to bat.
That was a Torture album, wasn't it? I remember that.
Yeah, and I think they released a new album this year as well, Dave, just for the record.
No.
But
they did some pretty cool stuff.
They've done a couple of Jay Leader,
yeah. I met him.
He's a good actor.
They played at my uni. Yeah.
Wow.
What? No. He's in a band? Wow.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be.
Sounds very, I don't know.
It's much more commercial than a lot of the stuff we listen to.
Yes, it is.
But it's not.
Very predictable, very formulaic.
First stuff. That's the best.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, go early. Don't go later. Go early.
Yeah, go early.
Just the title of the band, the name of the band sounds like Conrad. I remember you saying once in a stream that when you worked in, I don't know, some store, you used to call them like Paragraph. Was it Paragraph bands? Because the name was so
something
long.
like that. I remember that. Yeah.
Paragraph bands.
Yeah.
Wow, what a cool.
Paragraph
bands. Yeah.
Wow.
Bring me a toasted sandwich on the. Bring my Valentine a toasted sandwich on the horizon.
That's true. That's like Dennis had the other thing too. Remember, Dave? Dennis used to call him the verb, the noun. It was always the verb, the noun. It was that was his formula for them as well. There's always one of those.
Shit band names around that time.
Yeah, there was.
But yeah,
all right.
I remember listening to that album. Every song had the same formula. It was just so predictable. It's crap.
Well, let's see. Well, let's see. If anyone goes check them out, let us know anything because I got a new album out this year, like I was saying. So if you want to check it out, by all means, go for it.
Yeah.
Basher says, I agree as well. The vocal's too low with Caligula's song. Okay, cool. We're getting more feedback on that. But Michael said, Green Lung, I liked a lot. Okay, interesting how I liked the vocal mix. But it's funny how a lot of people are saying it's too soft. Hey, the consumers don't lie at the end of the day. So fair enough all around. All right. We're going to do a quick little recap because we finished our Builder album collection from, what was it? We went from 76 to 85, and last week was our final choices. We picked our year for 1985. So we have some awesome collections. I'm going to put a post up about these collections. So we did discuss the idea of, putting something up and saying, okay, which collection, if you're going to go on a desert island, would you take kind of thing? So there'll be a post on that sort of coming up in the future. Cool. But just to recap, last week's totals, we had Bell coming in 5th position with 230 points. Dave was 4th with 245. Jeff was 3rd with 255. Conrad was 2nd with 70, and I was out in front on 350. I'd already built an unassailable lead by that point in time, so I was it was basically a race for second after this point in time. So that's where we were at. Then we went and did our 1985 picks. So Conrad chose Megadeth Killing Is My Business. Dave chose Halloween self-titled. Bell had Iron Maiden Live After Death. I had Wasp, The Last Command, and Jeff had Yngwie Malmsteen Marching Out. So to do that gave the points order in this fashion. So for his choice, Conrad got 30 points, Dave got 20, Bell got 50, which I think we all expected when she mentioned Live After Death, because we'd all had Iron Maiden pick, so Bell got that one there. I got 40 points for Wasp, and Jeff got 10 points for Yngwie Malmsteen, which does shuffle our final totals in the end. So Dave and Jeff ended up tying 4th and 5th position apiece. They came in at 4 or 5, take your pick, with 265 points in total. Bell jumped up to 3rd with 280 points. Conrad moved up to 2nd with 300, and I was still skating way out in front on 390 after my pick with Wasp. So I had a fair lead in the end of that one.
Well done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well done, boss. You did good.
I'll take the win. And it's funny because you can't rig these things, which is the best part about it. I actually can't rig these fucking things, so it's all right. And if you don't like the count, Bell does the counting for me, so I have fuck all input on it. So
hey,
send messages out.
How much are you paying, Bell? How much
you paying? Go for it. It's all
because Dave,
public.
I get on social media and beg people to vote for things all the time.
Like you got time for that, man.
No. But yeah, so that wraps up our Builder album collection. We are going to do more of that in the new year. We've got some other themes coming up. We're going to have some fun with it. But that was just a cool little way to do things with the decade there. And we hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did. We had a lot of fun with it. And like I said, we will go through and do another post on just sort of the Desert Island thing with everyone's complete lists, and we'll go through that later on. But we're going to move on now to a new little thing because we only have 4 weeks left of the year for live streaming. So I wanted to make sure we can wrap this up because the last stream of this year is going to be pretty fucking nuts with 3 rounds of King of the Riff. So I wanted to make sure we can wrap this one up and sort of have it all tied off before the end of the year. So we're going to do a power trio. We're going to do the Builder Band again, and we're going to move on to power trios. Now, the same rules apply as always. So for any of us here, you can't have the same band more than once in your band. So once you choose someone from a band, that band is eliminated. And we can't also take the same picks again. So no one can have the same person from another person's pick, so to speak. So those rules normally apply. Now, the extra rule on this one that we applied here behind the scenes, we didn't put it in the social post, but behind the scenes here, we said that for us to pick them, for them to be eligible, they had to have been in a power trio band. So it didn't matter how short or long, just have to be a member of a power trio at some point in their career. So those are the rules we have to go by. We have to go through and pick as per usual. And tonight we're starting off, again, 3-piece band. So power trios, we're going to go with drummers tonight. So we did the draft order randomly before. And Dave, you get to kick us off. So who are you going to take off the board as your drummer for your power trio?
I wonder.
Would it surprise anybody if I said Mike Portnoy?
Yeah, exactly. I wonder.
Oh, cool.
Not at all.
Well, Mike
Be
Portnoy.
surprised if we didn't. Yeah.
I play
All right.
Winery Dogs.
Winery
I'm
dogs.
kind of
Yeah.
silly.
Yep.
Oh, winery dogs. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Because I didn't think
That's where
Dream
it's
Theater
from.
was a
So-
three-piece.
Dream
Winery
Theater.
Dogs is the three
Dream
piece
Theater's
that he's
definitely
in.
not. Yeah, it
And
has to
half
be.
a dozen after other fucking side projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the
Dave.
color one as well. So there's
Mike.
heaps of different projects he's
Yeah,
done.
Flying
But yeah,
Colors. Yep.
the Flying Colors. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a cool one too. That was
They
a
were
good project.
good, really good,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were really good. It's a shame they only did 2 albums and then sort of
I
faded
know.
out.
Mm.
All
Transatlantic.
Sorry, Dave.
Just speaking of other no projects, Transatlantic, Liquid Tension.
Yeah, Liquid Tension. Yeah, there's a few.
Avenged
They're the
Sevenfold.
best one. Liquid Tension, I think.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Is it Avenged Sevenfold? No shit.
For a little while it was.
He toured
As soon
with
as
them
he-
directly after
Yeah.
leaving Dream Theater.
Yeah,
Immediately after
very
that,
brief.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
because their
wow.
drummer had died, and so
Yeah,
they needed
so
somebody.
he was a fill-in drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pissed off a lot of Dream Theater fans because he left Dream Theater saying he was burnt out. Next minute he's on the road with Avenged Sevenfold. Like, what the fuck? You join them? You
Yeah.
leave Dream Theater for those fucking emos.
Well,
Dave, we know you said that.
Well,
Yeah, I did.
burnout in a band like Dream Theater, going to somewhere like Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can get the
Yeah.
appeal because it'd make it fun again for you.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking simple.
Completely
Yeah.
different type of drumming.
Definitely.
Not as
Definitely.
intense.
Anyway,
I would imagine,
we're getting
but
into the
I could be
weeds.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bill,
sorry.
who are you choosing as your drummer?
On point. Okay, well, I cannot pick anyone else. I had two, and my number one is Mickey D. My
Ah,
favorite drummer in the whole world. He's a legend.
Nice.
I love him.
From Motorhead time or
Yes, Motorhead time. I can't.
Yep.
Well, King Diamond wasn't a three-piece, and
no?
neither is Scorps, and I don't know who else he's played with.
Did you know he's on a
Such a
Halloween?
fan.
Dawkins, he's been, he was with,
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, he's on a
God.
Halloween album too.
Right.
Yeah,
Which
a
one?
bit.
Rabbits don't
I've
come
got
easy.
Yeah.
I've got a list. I've actually got a friggin' list started from tonight of all the shit that I need to check out.
Rabbits don't
They've
come
got-
easy.
Yeah.
Seriously, underrated album. That's a fucking
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah,
right
that's
up
a
there
good
with
one.
Pink Bubbles Go Ape. Fucking awesome. Fuck that.
Oh, Pink Bubbles is all right, but Chameleon's a fucking joke.
Chameleons.
Yeah,
is
there's-
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Rabbits don't come easy. That's a good one.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Well, you write that down, Bell. Jeff, which drummer are you taking?
Oh, need I
Yeah.
mention Neil Peart?
I knew it. I knew that was happening straight away. That was a no-brainer, pretty much.
Yeah, I knew
Um,
Dave wouldn't touch him. Yeah.
I know.
I should have just fucked with you and gone Rush.
If he had went Rush, I was going fucking Portnoy. So I had it either way.
Yeah.
No, dude, come vocalist. I'm stealing Geddy Lee just to completely
Alright.
fuck with you, man.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
like,
wow, that'll be interesting.
No, you're
Alright.
not. You're so full
Wow.
of shit, Dave.
yeah, he won't.
Yeah,
take
I
it.
know. How obvious. I can't
know.
even joke about that.
It's okay. I know Conrad wanted Neil Peart, but maybe next week, Conrad, you get to go first next week, Conrad. So make sure you sort of bookmark that place and time when we go through and choose bass players next week. So maybe you'll have some fun with that. But I get to go next, and I've actually got a bit of a list, and it's a bit of a problem because which one am I going to go for now? I'm going to take. You can call this
I've
a
got another
semi-obvious.
drummer.
Okay, good. I'm going to take a semi-obvious one, or maybe not. I don't know, but I'm going to take Dave Grohl from his Nirvana time.
Nah.
Um,
Yeah,
I think
it is
that-
my number
Good
two.
fucking drummer, man. Can't go wrong.
good drummer
Yeah.
and in a lot of
Can't argue with
projects,
that, actually.
and he's a good fucking
yeah.
singer
Yeah.
too. So if I need a singer, there's my singer as well. So I've got that covered in case I need it down the line. So I'm going to take Dave Grohl off the board,
Nice.
which means Conrad, final pick belongs to you.
Lights, camera, action.
It's not hard, dude. Someone zap him with fucking electricity.
Lost
Wake up.
He's kind of freezing up though. He might be actually.
Yeah.
He might have
Hello?
told us who it is, but he's
Yeah,
like,
are you there, Conrad? We can
Are you
hear you
there?
now.
Now you're moving.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Considering
Hi, England.
that Neil Peart got taken off the board.
Peart.
Yeah.
Peart.
Horrible.
Hurt, Peart.
It
Beautiful.
rhymes
Fine.
with ear.
And that'd be
Beautiful.
Stuart Copeland from the Police.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's a good one. Yeah.
nice, nice.
oh,
It's a
sorry, I
police.
missed that. Who?
Stuart Copeland.
Stuart Copeland from the Police.
Oh,
No.
okay. Yeah.
Do you know the worst thing about the
Good
police? They were
Great
successful
drummer.
enough to allow Sting to have a solo career.
Fucking hell.
Tell you, man.
Dave.
Sting's solo
Oh,
career is
Dave.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
His lyrics
I think
aren't.
it's all very clear like that. All right, so to quickly recap before we get smashed on this one. So Dave chose Mike Portnoy. Surprise, surprise. Bell took Mickey D. Jeff, again, surprise, surprise, took Neil Peart. I chose Dave Grohl, and Conrad took Stuart Copeland. So we'll do a poll again, and we'll get the audience voting. That's what's going to kick us through in the scoring, as always. And Conrad gets to take the first pick next week when it comes to bass players as well. So we're going to start that bit of fun here, just to sort of continue the build a band segment of things here as well. But now let's get to some comments here quickly. Back to the songs for a second. Adrian says green lung sounds like a smoking issue. Well, yeah,
It does,
I
thought of that too. I did, yeah.
Vinny says you might need a pillow for the back of your neck, Conrad. Long stretch in that position. So there we go. What do we got here? Man Family says the irons to me. Well, we'll get through to that very, very shortly, actually. Adrian says, I was going to choose Ingve, Jeff, but Wasp was my first concert. So there we go.
I can't hold it against you.
And then onto the drummers here. We've got Rowan says Portnoy. Got to be Portnoy.
Oh, of course he
Darren
does.
Says Predictable Dave. Which
No shit.
Adrian says drummers for Power Trio, Neil Peart. So we're getting more love for there. And then Darren's gone Predictable Jeff. So there we go.
Yes, but he's the best drummer in the world.
Yeah.
No question.
But to be fair, I would have taken Neil as well. But Darren says Don Beeler for me. Nice choice. Nice choice. And Mal says, I'm with you, Dave, on Sting's solo career. So there we go. Some more
Thank you.
in the comments there. All righty. Time for the main event.
There's a cat.
Kitty cat.
Oh,
Meow.
Hello.
Conrad stroking the pussy.
I was waiting for that comment.
Dave, why do you have to
This
throw
one he
in a
doesn't have to
happy
get his
moment?
credit card out
People
for.
would be disappointed if I didn't.
I know, Dave.
Yeah.
I know. I agree. Oh, wow.
What's the cat's name, Conrad?
Yeah. Tell us about the cat, Conrad.
Someone's got some static.
Theodore.
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 Nice.
Or is
Like
that
a
Ring?
chipmunk.
Theodore. That's a
Theodore.
cool name for a cat.
Have you got Alvin and Simon around the joint?
Theodore.
Teddy.
I
Teddy.
hope
Dude.
not, because they're the worst
Once you
band in
go
the
black, you
world.
don't go back.
Worst power
Yeah.
trio ever.
Yeah. There's your power trio right there. That's a good point, Bill. Oh, fuck.
Oh, gross.
Well,
Is
the
that
rain
rain?
just comes
Is that
Conrad
rain?
and
rain
Chipmunk.
Yes,
hammering
can hear
down on me now. So my apologies, folks. I'm going to mute my mic in a second.
Yeah, wow.
But Vinny says a live refresh on stream. So there we go. And Michael says, yep, I picked Grohl too and for singing as well. So there we go. Alrighty. We are going to move on to the King of the Riff segment of the show now. Oh, hang on. Darren says, never fuck with a black cat. This is true.
No,
Yep.
don't do that.
Yeah, fuck with the Black Panthers.
Yeah. But in the comments, as always, also in the description box, you've got reference tracks here for this week's battle, which is Iron Maiden with Phantom of the Opera and Pearl Jam with Even Flow.
Is Conrad doing the lyric thing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, forgot that one. Sorry. I missed a skip. Fuck.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Dave.
Cool.
Thank you.
Sorry.
What?
Thank you, Dave.
I
I
know
forgot
my
too.
shit.
I
I know what's
forgot
going on.
too. I'm like,
All right.
oh, yeah.
Sorry. My bad. So I'm going to hand over and hopefully the rain will fucking stop. So, Conrad, you've got Guess the Song this week. So over to you.
You're up, dude.
He's frozen.
All right.
Damn.
My money
There
is,
you go. There's a delay.
is
That's
on
okay.
Andrew or Jeff might get this. I don't know. That's my money on those two.
Oh,
Right, I'm going to try and
cool. I'm just
read
going to go to
this
the bathroom
in a
then.
way that
No, don't.
you won't get it. So obviously,
We might
let's
surprise
see how
you.
we go. Okay, I'm going to start this. Well, you wake up in the. Shut up, Dave. There's lag.
I know.
And as there's
Andrew,
lag,
last
it's going to
stream.
be difficult. All right.
Okay,
So don't
all right.
interrupt.
No interruption.
All right. I'll start that again. Well, you wake up in the morning. You hear the church bell ring. Actually, it's work bell. Sorry.
Oh,
You hear the work bell
I
ring.
know this.
And they march you to the table. You see the same old thing.
I think I
Ain't
know
no
it.
food upon the table.
I know it.
Ain't no pork up in the pan.
Can I guess? Can I take a guess?
Okay.
Take
John
guess.
Lennon, working
I'll
class
stop.
hero.
Go on. Call it.
John Lennon, working class hero.
Yep.
I got it? Fuck yeah!
Wow.
Nope. You're out.
Oh,
No.
You're out.
Okay, I'm out.
You're out.
No.
Not that. No,
Okay.
you're out. Okay. But you better not complain, boy.
oh,
You get in trouble with the man.
I got it.
I know
Yeah.
this. I know this.
Okay, it's
Okay, go on, Jeff.
oh, for fuck's sakes! I know the band. I can't think of the name of the song. All right, I'm not gonna guess because I know it.
Keep going,
I know it
Conrad.
as well.
Jeff,
I
you're
know,
still
but
in, I
yeah.
reckon.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
pretty
still
sure
in.
you would know
Yeah, just
I
still
know
in.
it.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
playing in my head. The song.
Oh, fucking
Yeah, Dave.
stupid.
Yes, you
My
know
money
it
was
too,
on
but-
Andrew. My money
I
was
know
on
it,
Andrew
but
and Jeff
I'm
getting this.
It's not
Well, we'll
popping.
see. You got to keep going though.
All right, I'll try. Yonder.
Fuck, I can't remember the song.
Okay, second verse. Bear with me. Yonder come Miss Rosie. How in the world did you know? By the way, she wears her apron and the clothes she wore. Umbrella on her shoulder, piece of paper in her hand.
Oh, fucking
She
hell.
come to see the governor. She wants to free her man.
Oh my god. Fuck me,
Is
can't
everyone else
say-
having the
Why
same
is this
problem?
not?
Sing it, because if I sing it, you'll get it.
Don't sing
Yeah,
it.
no, don't sing it.
Just skip over the chorus. Go to the
Yeah.
next line.
Yeah.
Okay, we're into the third verse now. Okay, I'm gonna hang on. Have the audience called it yet, Andrew?
I
So
don't want to go
audience
through the comments.
said anything
I'll
yet?
timestamp. I don't want to go through the comments because then I'll know if someone guesses it. You know what I mean? I don't want to have that spoiler on me.
So I want to go through comments. All right, I'll start the third verse.
Yep.
All right, okay, I'll go for the third verse. If you're ever in Houston, the city, sorry. If you're ever in Houston, well, you better do right. You better not gamble there. You better not fight at all. Or
I'll
the
never
sheriff will grab you and the boys will bring you down. The next thing you know, boy, you're prison bound. That's all of the verses, guys.
Look, I'm
Three
just gonna,
verses.
because I'm never gonna get the name of the song, but I'm just gonna put the fucking thing. Let someone else get it. It's Creedence Clearwater Revival. Now I just can't think of the fucking name of the song. So there's
All right.
someone. I'm helping somebody else. I'm out.
Is that a Creedence
Give me the
song?
band.
Is that how I know?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Fucking Credence, man.
That's
Well
actually
done, Bell.
no. That was
Credence
Jeff.
song. You got the Credence, yes.
That was
Credence
Jeff.
song.
I'm trying to help
The
someone.
name of the
Sorry.
song.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
tricky part. Actually, Jody better at this than
You want
me.
me to read the
I,
lyrics,
I,
Ben?
I appreciate that.
It's not what it
Yeah,
It's not stuck in a Lodi. No.
no.
was like.
I don't think we'll go past it this night.
I thought you should know this. 'Cause-
If it was
I
Proud
do know
Mary,
it.
I'd know it. If it was
Okay, you want me to read the...
I just gave you a
You want me to
hint.
do the verses
do the
again?
chorus.
Do you know
What's
it,
the
Dave? Yeah.
chorus?
You know the song?
I'm looking at the lyrics. I cheated because I gave a guess. I can't do anything, but yeah.
You want me to slightly
Yeah, well, I'm
sing it?
out. So I'm
Move on to the
Yeah.
chorus,
I helped
Conrad. Just go to the
somebody.
chorus.
Do the chorus, and then
Jody, you'd
if
be
we
better
don't
at
get
this
it from
than
there, we're
because
fucked.
it's
The
Creedence,
chorus is the
Jody's got
title.
more than mine. Is it? Oh,
The hint is we won't go past it tonight
Yes,
if
the
we're
chorus is
lucky.
the title. So I can't sing the chorus.
Yeah.
yeah.
We won't go past it tonight if we're lucky.
Oh, fuck, man. I can't believe I had such a brain fart for this.
I don't know.
Fucking hell.
The hint. Also,
Oh.
the hint is it was
don't
used.
know.
It was used in the movie Twilight Zone at the start of the movie Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's quite a special
It's all
song.
about-
Okay, you're
The original Star
out.
Twilight Zone movie?
It's a special song.
Oh God.
Oh,
Oh,
midnight.
oh,
Special.
fucking there, man. It's Midnight Special.
There we go.
Jesus Christ.
No,
Belle
but
got it. Belle got it.
Yeah. I know.
No,
I
he
don't
did.
think I did because I was getting fed.
I'm sorry if
Yeah.
I kind of ruined it when I said the name of the band, but I just
Fuck,
could
that
not
was a
get the
good, that was
fucking
a good one,
song out.
Conrad. That was
That
really
That was
good.
a very good one.
That was good.
That was a
But
really
the thing
good
is
one
that
because it wasn't an obvious one.
no,
But
and
it
the
was a
audience is
recognizable
stumped as
one.
well. No one got it in the
so
audience.
we
Yeah,
got it.
that was a good one because
Really?
everyone knows
Oh.
Credence. Everyone
Yeah.
knows Credence.
We got
Everyone
it.
heard
We
the
knew
song.
it, but was like, yeah.
Fucking
No
hell.
one
Yeah,
got the
that-
audience
Yeah.
one because
Good,
It's part
good
of your
time,
DNA. You
man.
know the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I reckon? I reckon
Yeah.
for this thing like that, right, with the game,
Good
when no
song.
one gets it, the person who puts it up gets the points.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck point.
Are we
Well,
scoring? I didn't.
I know we're
yeah,
not
we're not
scoring.
fuck point.
I
It's harmless fun.
Yeah.
Everyone's a
was
winner.
fun.
Was that too
Jeff
hard?
likes winning.
I like
No,
winning
it
Oh,
anything,
it's
and
good,
I-
man. We all knew the band, we just couldn't get the song, and that's a
Yeah.
good thing, actually. I reckon that's good.
That was great. Yeah.
fuck. Oh.
That was fun.
That was
I
really
enjoyed
good,
that.
Conrad. You
I
did-
really,
you did
I really
well.
liked that one because as soon as you heard it, you're like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, I know this one," and you're
Yeah.
like,
I
"What is
went,
And I was like, I'm
"Arr!"
never gonna get it, so I just
Yeah.
said, "Fuck it." Yeah.
Yeah.
Help somebody
No,
That
else.
was really
That's
good.
good, but it's good because you stumped the audience too, Conrad, just for the record. Because back to the comments here quickly.
I thought this
Adrian
would be
said,
too
"Love the
easy.
rain."
Nah. It's been
I thought
raining.
never
Have you ever heard the rain
It was too easy.
Yeah,
coming down on me?
yeah. But the thing is that you think it's easy, but then the lyrics,
Yes.
not with that melody, is a different game.
Yeah,
So it does.
That's right.
Twist perspective, which is the fun
this
part
is
about
fun.
Correct.
it. Yeah, which is
Yeah.
what makes it fun. But
Quite
Adrian said,
fun.
"I love the
This is
rain. It's
cool.
relaxing."
Oh yeah.
Sorry about my noisy floor.
Yes.
Michael said, Iron Maiden, we could save some time here, trophy. Yellow smiling. So, yeah, we could. We'll see,
Yeah.
though. But Rowan had a guess with Rush Working Man, so that was
Nope.
there. Not that one. But Darren said, no contest, Iron Maiden smashed this one. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because
Oh.
we've done the song of the week. Conrad did well by stumping us all until the very, very end there, where it was all
You
basically
did.
spoon fed in. But Belle still took the chocolates for this one around,
All right.
so well done to
Let me
Belle
go
for
Belle.
calling it out.
I did not.
You did.
I absolutely did not. I was
Thought
being.
someone would have got that.
Shit.
Oh,
Dave
Belle
just
got
fucked
it.
off.
I'm
I
back.
don't think anyone
back.
got that.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's Houdini. He just disappeared and come
I just
But I
need
think
to
you
shift
put- we
position,
got
man.
that
What
one,
can I
Belle.
say?
Alright.
Had to
I'm
stretch
all
it.
about
out.
shifting
Oh,
position.
Yeah. Ooh.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's get on to the main event of the evening, which I shared the links, but I'm not going to share them again. There are reference
Don't
tracks in
start
the
with
comments
me.
and the description box. Well, fingers crossed. While Bell runs off. So tonight we are doing Iron Maiden with their self-titled album going up against Pearl Jam with their 10 album. Both the debut albums from these bands, both pretty important in terms of musical history. This is the third seed versus the sixth seed. So they're both very popular releases when it comes down to it all as well in the audience choice top 10 of the debut albums of the series. The reference tracks again for those playing along at home are Phantom of the Opera from Iron Maiden and Even Flow from Pearl Jam. They're in the description box and in the comments as well. Basically, we did poll the audience, and I don't think I'm giving anything away by giving the audience vote away pretty much from the start because the audience went very one-sided on this one. It was an absolute romp to Iron Maiden. So that is the audience choice for this week. It is Iron Maiden. But now we're going to see if we agree or disagree with what the audience have said and just continue on, because we've been actually splitting off with this little path we've been creating where the audience is one thing and we have the other. So it's going to be really interesting to see where this all ends up. But we're going to start off now with it's King of the Riff time. It is Iron Maiden versus Pearl Jam for debut albums. Let's see who gets to go first. Well, Conrad seems to have
Bye,
checked out.
Conrad.
Okay. Well, it's good that
He
we
took
get
his black pussy and left.
Yeah, I don't know. But Jeff, over to you, man. Give us your thoughts. Which way are you going on this one?
Can I read what I wrote?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I have to read this. All right. Give me a moment here.
Oh, while you do that, Darren says, have a great weekend, guys. I'm out of here. Good to see
All
you,
right.
mate. Hopefully you have a great weekend as well, and I'm sure you'll catch up with everything later on. But he has put Iron Maiden on the board for him, so let's see if we agree with the audience because it was a romp for that one. But, Jeff, over to you.
Okay. So, look, Iron Maiden, the debut album came out in 1980, Pearl Jam 10. What year was it? 91, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote a bunch of shit down. I'm just going to read it. But I must say right off the top, this sounds like a mismatch. Okay. These two albums are both great in their own right. but they couldn't be more different from each other, in my opinion.
Yeah.
On one hand, you get Iron Maiden's debut, an album which is arguably at the top of the Nuwabum, which is the new wave of heavy metal tree. One of the albums that literally started it all. And at the very least, this album is in pretty short company. There's no question about it. And there are those who put this album at the forefront of the entire movement. While I don't think that it was the first to do so, I certainly believe that it definitely deserves the praise that it has earned. This is an amazing debut album, not a throwaway track in the lot. Every song holds its own and is perfectly placed. The album is a dark album. It opens with the epic track Prowler and closes with the iconic song still played today at every Iron Maiden show, Iron Maiden. When this album came out in 1980, there simply wasn't anything like it. They were a working class band. They appealed directly to the punters. And when the record companies at the time said they would sign them if they cut their hair and played the style of music that was big at the time, bands like the Knack and Punk and shit, basically, thankfully for all of us, I'm really happy that the guys in Maiden basically told the record companies to go fuck themselves. And they did. They absolutely did. So Iron Maiden are one of those bands that simply didn't fit into any particular category. They didn't copy anyone. And as a result, developed a sound all their own. And I think that's one of the reasons why they struck such a chord early on with the audiences, which would become their patented Maiden sound, which would follow them from album to album and take them across the globe, selling out stadiums across the world, decade after decade. This sound would see them influence and inspire countless bands across the decades, but none could touch the original. And one only has to listen to the epic song Remember Tomorrow to know that there's something really special about these guys. And of all the bands that came out of the Nuwabum scene, that there's new wave of British heavy metal. I don't think that it would be a misrepresentation to say that Maiden is the biggest out of that scene and the most well-known of all those bands. The first self-titled from this British Metal Kings was the cornerstone of everything that was to come after, and is a must-listen for every fan of the band. So then we get to Pearl Jam 10. So when I was contemplating what I was going to write for my review for this album, I had to think about what I was going to say, because honestly, for the first time, I found myself in a long time, a bit lost for words. To quote another Iron Maiden instrumental song from a great album. I had to put that in there. So, now I don't think it could be argued that 10 was not their best-selling album. It recently surpassed 13 times platinum. That's pretty fucking impressive. I also don't think that it could be argued that this isn't a landmark album for this band that started, or at the very least, helped create the gigantic grunge alternative movement of the early 90s. But all that success doesn't mean it's a good album. However popular something is doesn't mean it's a good metric. Just because something's popular. Remember Gangnam Style? Anybody? The first video to hit a billion fucking views.
You may want to man. I was up there doing all that shit.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. Look, there was a lot of people watching that thing. 1 billion views. First one ever. So we all know there's a lot of fuckwits out there. Now, I won't lie to anyone. I've never been a fan of Pearl Jam. I find Eddie Vedder's voice annoying at the best, and at worst, it sounds like he's gargling with a big set of balls in his mouth, which actually makes sense when you take a moment to consider their name. Pearl Jam.
Wow.
Fucking gross. Who names their name? Who names their band after Spunk?
It was named after his grandmother.
No, it wasn't. That's a bullshit. That's a bullshit. His grandmother was That's a bullshit story. Her mother Pearl didn't make jam. That's all bullshit.
She took her teeth out. She got right into that.
It is bullshit. The bands went on and they were on the record. Bullshit? It is. All right. Anyway, we can argue that to the sun comes
argue later.
Anyway. So look, Pearl Splooge. Okay, whatever. You might as well just call yourself the Jizz Munchers and get it over with. In my opinion, this name is right up there with another annoying band, Limp Bizkit. A similar fucked up name for a similar fucked up band.
Oh, no.
So I guess you could say at this point, maybe I just don't get it. Maybe I just don't get Pearl Jam. Okay, to be fair, there are a couple songs here that aren't completely insipid. But where's the music dynamics? There's no musical dynamics in this album. I find most of this album droning, depressing, and really, to me, it's basically shit. And to be fair, you can almost hear some interesting musical nuggets hiding in here. Again, all brought down by moronic lyrics and the singer with balls in his mouth. Okay, Dave, fair call. I totally get you now when you reviewed Kate Bush's album, because I thought maybe you were being a bit harsh at the time, but dude, I get it now because I'm in the same place mentally that you were with that album.
Feel my pain, dude. I get it.
I feel it. I feel it. So now, as for this album as a whole, one has to read, if you want to actually go and get into this, you have to read through the tedious, sometimes nonsensical lyrics to know all you need to know about this tripe. And I implore you, have a read through some of the lyrics. These are some of the most, at best, nonsensical lyrics that I've ever seen on an album. And to address the elephant in the room, in all fairness, maybe I am being a bit overly harsh. There are plenty of hard rock, even blues riffs hiding in here. And I've always thought that the musicians in the band, they're all really good at their respective instruments. A prime example is Stone Gossard, an exceptional guitar player. And I know there are people out there who absolutely adore this band. And for them, they can do no wrong. I get it. My younger brother is one of them. Okay. And to each their own. But for me, it's just never been a band for me. I find the music mostly depressing, as evidenced by the song Jeremy. Now, I have another friend who just wants, every time we see each other, all he wants me to do is play the song Corduroy from the album Vitology over and over and over again because he loves it so much. So just kill me fucking now. I've had to play that song a million times. Okay. So now onto the serious topic. I really am going to bring this down. I'm going to get serious. So there is a very serious topic in this album, bullying, as discussed in the song Jeremy. Now, this is a powerful topic, and they don't pull any punches here, and there's no denying it. The topic of this song is terrible, and what happens in this song was a real event that took place in Texas in 1991. And if anyone doesn't know what happened, I won't spoil it for you. Just Google the meaning behind the song Jeremy. It's absolutely heartbreaking what happened to that boy. Now, from a lyrical standpoint, and without a doubt, this is the standout song on the entire album for me. And I applaud them for taking on such a serious topic and doing it justice without glorifying it. And that's not easy to do. But for me, this is where my admirations for this album ends. The rest of the album is filled with song after song of lyrical absurdities that do little to inspire or even make much sense. Honestly, if you took out all the vocals from Vedder, I actually think the music would be quite good. Does that essentially mean that I cannot stand Eder? No, not entirely. But he certainly isn't one of my vocalists of choice. I would rather listen to Boy George or anyone else gargling balls than this dude. I just don't get his voice. I don't like it. Okay. But I digress a bit. This is a review for this album 10 and not the band or itself or individual parts. But in order to do it justice, I'm forced to put the whole thing in context. And if that means giving this band a big square musical kick in the balls, then so be it. Here I am talking about balls again.
There's something on your mind, Jeff.
Something going on here.
While
But anyway, look, all kidding aside, let's not forget why music like this still exists in the first place. Its popularity grew in part because some people were getting sick of overproduced music, and it was more about image and less about the music itself. I get it. That makes total sense. It should always be about the music and not just about the image. The rise of hair metal, glam metal, that sort of thing, similar bands from the mid to late 80s, something needed to happen, and ultimately something did happen. But let's break it down. The statement made by these top musical pundits in order to protest that scene, the best music that they could get behind just happened to be the exact polar opposite. Music that is entirely based around lazy, sloppy chords, uninspired, rudimentary, unsatisfying musical arrangements. Yay, so we get that. Blah music and everyone covered in flannel shirts and Doc Martens. So it essentially comes down to one image against another image. And therefore, opinion. And opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. It's all subjective. The mob rules, the louder the voice. And like it or not, Pearl Jam, when they set it out to do this or not, they did become the poster child for change, an alternative to mainstream. And ironically, due to the plethora of fuckwits out there buying their music, push this band into what can only describe as mainstream. The very fucking thing that those idiots were protesting about in the first place. They pushed these guys into it. And so for what it's worth, this tells me all I need to know about these trendsetting idiots that and the shit music that they follow. Fuck Pearl Jam and the fake movement that they represent. Maiden wins for me. They get my vote any day of the fucking week.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, guys.
Wow.
Had to do it.
That's putting the boot in. That's going to go off. That'll be fun to clip and use later on. There'll be some comments coming through on that one. All righty. Belle, you get to follow that up.
Oh,
yes.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just say that, I mean, there was some awesome shit in that review, whether I agree with it or not, but
some good lines, yeah.
plethora of fuckwits was my standout.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
But Jeff, I have to say, I've never agreed with you more, man. Spoiler alert, but fuck. Spot on.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right, Belle. Where do you land?
Okay.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm just going to read. I don't have a whole lot about Maiden, but I might have a few pages about Pearl Jam, so this will be interesting. All right. Maiden are always good, even in their early days. You can definitely hear they were a young, keen, hungry band pulling out lots of the tricks they'd started accumulating. Fucking headphones. But they were clearly still learning their craft. I find this quite charming in debut albums. It's not always there, but in this case it is. One thing's for sure, right from the opening track, these are musicians that click. They just work so well together to write and play great songs. Prowler, by the way, is a really great opening track. And I've always enjoyed the dramatic change of pace early on with Remember Tomorrow. And this just goes on. It's just such a well set out album. Classic after classic track. Fucking hell. Sorry, my notes are really bad. I was kind of rushing.
It's all good, Bill.
Okay. This is possibly or probably going to annoy some people, but I'm here to express my personal opinion, as we've just witnessed. I don't rate Paul Di'Anno very highly as a singer. I find his vocals derivative and at times even weak. There is nothing original about his style, and his vocal tone and quality does nothing but disappoint me when it's, fronting music of this caliber. But that's really the only bad thing I can say about this album. And that's all I have to say about that album. All right, Pearl Jam. So I am actually going to start my comments on this album with a criticism. I always found the intro to the opening track on this a little bit weird and unnecessary. That weird kind of fade in with the bass riff and the weird sort of vocal. Yeah, it's just like it shouldn't be there. It doesn't match a thing on Once, the opening track, I don't think, or even anything on the album. But that's just my personal opinion on it. It's just kind of a weird lead-in. I've never liked that. Anyway, just wanted to get that off my chest. That aside, Once is a banger of an opening track. This is how you start an album. There is so much energy infused into this one song. It demonstrates their skill as musicians, their songwriting prowess. Jeff's shaking his head.
Not
I was going to ignore him.
It's on now.
And perfectly sets the tone for the album. Actually, I think the first 3 songs do that. And I really love the echoey sound on this album too. That has always appealed to me. It's just got its own sound. I don't know why it's there, what it is about it, but I fucking love it. I think it's great. Pearl Jam, even from their debut, have this casual ease about the way they play their music, which makes it sound simpler than it actually is. I find they play around with rhythm in really interesting ways, yet these songs are chart ready and easily accessible. They are also incredibly catchy, and they make you want to jump up and dance around. And the guitar solos on this album are awesome, and in my opinion, shit all over the solos on Maiden's album.
Okay, we're not friends anymore.
Dave's face was perfect then, Bill. What a mic drop moment that was.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer the bluesy solos.
Fucking Phantom of the Opera. Jesus Christ.
Has such a great feel for that. And I don't actually know his name.
Stone Gossard?
Jeff,
Stone Gossard. That's the guitar, main guitar player.
That's the
Mike McCready as well.
Mike McCready,
Okay. Whoever's doing the solos on this album is a fucking champion because I think they are awesome.
Yeah.
They just, I don't know. I think I prefer the bluesy over the more classical. Like I like and I respect the classical style solos, but when it's just kind of got that bluesy
it's diatonic versus pentatonic
feel. Well, that is that a guitar thing because I don't know. I'm not a guitarist.
Yep.
Okay. Whatever it is, I prefer it. The placement of black is perfect after the first four rockers. In fact, the flow of this whole album, I think, is perfect. And not to say that Maiden's isn't, but this is a much longer album than the Maiden album. So the risk of people's attention waning is higher with this than Maiden's, I think. It's like an extra 20 minutes.
That's an understatement.
One.
Dave, you'll get your turn.
I love how they maintain their unmistakably Pearl Jam sound throughout this album, yet there is such variety and interest throughout all the songs themselves. And another thing that struck me about this album, listening to it now, because it's been a while, like it's been quite a long time since I've listened to this, and oh god, I'm going off track here, but I found that it surprised me. Like I remember all these songs. Like, I used to listen to this a lot, but it surprised me how much I enjoyed it. Again, like probably more so than I ever have. Anyway, so what struck me was how undated this sounds now. It's just a band could put this out now and it would sound like, okay, yep, cool. This is a new album, and I don't think we could say the same about Maiden's debut. And that sounds like a criticism, but it's not meant to be. It's just more of an observation. My observation.
Yep.
So this is gonna ruffle some feathers. Unlike Paul Di'Anno, Eddie Vedder's vocals are original sounding, and he's just generally a much better singer.
He sounds like a fucking foghorn. He could guide ships into port.
Yeah. With the balls, they roll into port.
It does not sound like a foghorn. If
it sounds like a fucking foghorn.
Like a happy sheep. That's as far as I'll go with
a happy sheep getting fucked by a Tasmanian. No, a New Zealander. Sorry.
Oh, that's a shot.
Yeah. We don't like sheep down here. We just fuck our cousins. Anyway, there we go.
That went wrong.
Humans only. Fucking hell, where was I? So, whether you like his voice or not, and some do not, the man can sing.
Yeah.
It is hard to imagine Pearl Jam sounding like Pearl Jam without him. Yet, can we say the same about Paul Di'Anno and Iron Maiden? I don't think so. I think that's been proven. All right. So this is such a high quality album. oh shit, and then I go on about how I haven't listened to this in years and how I much, blah, blah. All right, so I've seen both of these bands live and both were awesome. But Maiden definitely put on a better show overall, like the whole production that they put. I think we've all seen that.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam got up there and played and it sounded fantastic. Shit, I think it was their Vitality tour. Anyway, it was a really good show. It was fun. So, if someone said to me, Belle, which band do you prefer? I wouldn't even blink. I'd say Maiden.
Yep.
All the way. But I really do think that this is a better debut album than Iron Maiden's album. So I'm voting for Pearl Jam's 10.
Wow, there we go. 1 for 1. Nice. Well, I think we all know how this is going, but Dave, you have the floor.
Alrighty. Pearl Jam versus Iron Maiden. Fuck me. When did this happen? This is like... I don't even know what it's like, but I used to do a comparison for these debut albums, but I have one thing for the comparison. Both have an Eddie. One has never spoken. One doesn't shut the fuck up. That's the end of my comparison. Pearl Jam 10. Yeah, it might come as a surprise, but I actually own a couple of Pearl Jam songs. I own Versus and Vitality. They're not bad albums. They got a couple of good songs. We did a grunge special a couple of years ago. We filmed that. And revisiting those albums from my teens was interesting and somewhat painful. Interestingly enough, some of the songs that I liked on Versus and Vitality back as a teenager are the same songs I still like to this day. Some things don't change. You can get an EP out of the best songs on those two albums. Rearview Mirror and Go, fucking excellent songs. It's fun playing Rearview Mirror. That's a cool song. As far as 10 goes, this album is like a game of cricket. There's a little bit of action surrounded by a whole bunch of boring crap waiting for something to happen. This would have to be the most boring rock album I have ever heard. I didn't get it when it came out in 1991. Energy, enthusiasm, fun, that was all gone. This is like the image of that Simpsons episode, Lollapalooza, where the stoned teenagers are dancing to the grunge version of the Simpsons theme. All that shit started right here with this fucking album. I never understood what's going on the cover either. They all got their hands up in the air. They all grabbing at each other. What the hell is it? A circle jerk or something? I didn't get it. That's fucking crap. But Eddie Vedder, foghorn vocals, which became what every wannabe fucking singer wanted to do for a whole decade after this, and stretching a single syllable word into 6. It was fucking annoying. With the exception of a couple of songs, I struggle to even call this album a rock album. The opening track, Once, is fucking boring. Once, it's a fucking terrible, boring as hell song. Even flow, okay guitar riff, but fuck, boring. Alive, every time I hear this opening riff, it's the same reaction. Oh, fuck no, just kill me. Why go? The drums are okay. Black. Here we go, the first of so many boring, plodding, fucking songs. It's the Ritalin generation all packed up into a fucking CD. Jeremy's okay, but not for repeat listenings. Porch. Slightly shifting gears a little bit, but still crap. The only thing that makes this song interesting is because it's placed between two fucking boring songs. Ocean and Garden. Mellow, easy listening mood music. It's fucking boring. I would be surprised if this has never been played on 3MP. This is the type of crap this album is made out of. Deep. The tempo steps up, but the interest sure as hell doesn't. And Release. How do you end an album as fucking boring as this with a 9-minute painfully slow misery? This is beyond a cure for insomnia. This is a fucking cause for a coma. I hate this fucking song. And they used to open their concerts with this song. I had a whole bunch of bootlegs because I liked the latest stuff. I never understood why they opened it with such a boring song. And this came out in 1991. We're not that far away from people being energetic and enthusiastic and happy and bright and glamorous and fucking playing guitars and bright shit. But no, we're going to go fucking boring and strip everything down and be fucking miserable. The best way to sum up this band, album, and this entire genre of music, I'm going to quote some lyrics from Steven Wilson, Porcupine Tree's song Fear of a Blank Planet. The lyrics go, my friend says he wants to die. He's in a band. They sound like Pearl Jam. The clothes are all black. The music is crap. That song and that album is a fucking brilliant commentary on this whole generation, this whole fucking crap musical movement. It was miserable at the time, and it's fucking miserable today. I saw it happen. One day people were happy, the next day they were fucking miserable, and they really didn't have anything to bitch about. Yeah. I had a lot to bitch about, but I was doing my best to stay positive. But it was really fucking hard to do that in the 90s when you had all this miserable crap going around. This album and Nirvana's Nevermind changed the whole world and made an entire generation miserable. Record companies realized they could package depression and sell it to teenagers, and it fucking worked. The wrong type of people are buying my album. Quoted from Eddie Vedder, "You don't get to pick who buys your album, you whining little bitch."
Oh, fuck.
Nice, Dave, nice. That's
and fucking Kurt Cobain was complaining about being a rock star. He took his fucking band from Sub Pop and put them on Geffen Records. That was his choice. All this generation did was bitch about the opportunities that were provided to them and killed a whole bunch of decent bands who were fucking hardworking in the first place. I fucking hate grunge.
Oh, can't tell.
Right. By contrast, we have this brilliant album from Maiden. This one, Original Master. This was my first cassette I bought of Iron Maiden. My mate bought Life After Death on vinyl. Fucking loved it. Copied it, played it to death. I went out and bought the album because this had Phantom of the Opera, which I still fucking love to this day. And there's raw, youthful energy, enthusiasm, killer songs. Each one is unique, diverse tempos and moods. I know people bitch about the production, but I don't give a fuck. I think it adds to the charm, and it doesn't sound like any other album, and that's the beauty of it. I don't give a fuck what decade it came out in. A great song can shine through crappy production. Perhaps great production cannot save a shit song. We have so many toys to play with these days when it comes to recording music. Focus on writing good songs. And 40 years later, any of these songs that are played live, your fucking audience will go nuts. This is Maiden in its most raw form. The ideas are there. They haven't got their sound down 100%, but who gives a fuck? It's cool. The song structures, composition, the melodies all provide a gripping listen from start to finish. It's a diverse album. Every song is different. Prowler is an excellent opener. Remember Tomorrow, great use of the soft and the heavy. It's probably the first song I heard change from that between verse and chorus. And Running Free, epic song, much better on Live After Death, where Dickinson's getting the whole audience going. Yeah, they always sounded better live. Going back to those early albums was a bit disappointing after hearing that. If that's your introduction to Maiden, it's going to step down. The harmonized guitar lines are all there that Maiden stole from Wishbone Ash and Thin Lizzy, even though Jeff Rotel was the main influence for Steve Harris. The epic composition of fucking Phantom of the Opera was brilliant. They would go on to do so many epic stuff, but they had fucking playing in triplets. Metallica was all about the semi-quavers and everything, but triplets, that's just such a unique feel. And the solo section, the dueling guitars, and then each one takes a solo, and then back to the fucking harmonized stuff. That is brilliant. Transylvania, fucking fantastic instrumental. Was tricky to learn, but very much worth it. Strange world, mysterious, nice change of pace. Shout out the heart. I won't go through every song. Yeah, it's not as polished as what they were doing later on, but who gives a fuck? Maiden, obviously. Any other answer is wrong. Sorry, Bell, but fucking Maiden smokes this fucking.
Absolutely.
Yep. Pearl Jam was such a. Fucking the 90s with whining little bitches.
It's depressing.
Grow the fuck up and get over your little fucking.
How can you not get the energy out of? How do you not feel the energy coming out of that album?
I reckon you can
probably take away Jeremy, Even Flow, and Alive. It's not even a rock album.
Get off.
It is. No. That's exactly what it is. I wouldn't even call it a grunge. I don't put it in the grunge.
I bet anyone who had 10 on cassette never played side B.
Oh,
side B is so fucking boring. Side A has a few moments, like I said, that moment of cricket where they're actually pitching and batting. Side B is like where they go and fetch the ball.
It's where they go for lunch.
Yeah.
All right.
We have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, I think we can put a pin in that.
Have to on this one.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that because I get to go next. Which means Conrad is going to bring this on home for us now. Wow, this has been interesting. Look, honestly, this is for me a really interesting battle. They're a decade apart, but both really important, not only to their respective, musical movements in grunge and new wave British heavy metal, but also to music history overall. They're both pretty important albums. I thought it was funny how one side of the audience vote was. I do
it's
wonder.
Not funny. It's fucking dead on.
I have a funny feeling we're going to get the same outcome here, but it's just funny how it was so lopsided. I'm going to start with Iron Maiden. It's hard to deny the energy on the album. It's raw, it's intense. For the time, it's pretty groundbreaking as well. In 1980, though, there were some cracking albums released. This stands out from those in the best way possible with the pace, the attack, and the use of melody that was done for this style of music. There are some massive songs on this one, including tracks like Prowler, Running Free, Fan of the Opera, and the title track as well. But the band have some nice debut cuts on this album too. Tracks like Remember Tomorrow are slower but show a bit of maturity beyond their years overall in the way they approach that song. As far as this album goes, that blending of prog and punk, which is what this came down to, what this would do to change the course of music overall was nothing short of impressive. Yeah. No denying the historical impact of this album at all. There's an amazing blend of really simple and complex, song structures here that's really just interesting from beginning to end. I think the lyrical side of things is really simplistic overall from Iron Maiden on this one, but the musical construction of these songs is a bit more complex around. So you've got that simple yet complex sort of balance there. As impressive as this album is, like so many other albums on this list, it's not without its flaws. These are debut albums after all. I think they got a little bit beyond themselves at times on this one. With the writing and the performances. They had the ideas, but they weren't able to execute them. And you can hear that on these songs, for mine. There's not a lot in it, but the margins matter in this context. Now, if you can take nothing away overall from the songs and performances, but for what they're doing and where they are at in their career, it's pretty fucking impressive. But for me also, the mixing, I know Dave mentioned it, but for me, the mixing has not aged well at all. Now, I know budget...
It's the songs, man.
Yeah, but it matters. It absolutely matters.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Doesn't. No,
yes, it
doesn't.
does.
It's the
Dave,
time, 1980,
Yeah, but this came out in the same year as Back in Black, Heaven and Hell, Permanent Waves, Blizzard of Oz, British Steel, The Game, Ace of Spades, and so many more.
The only album that
doesn't matter
in that list is Blizzard of Oz because it was a debut album.
The songs are important. It's what's being said, not how it's presented.
Can I get my point across, or are we just going to go around here? Now, the reason why it matters is because this wasn't an independent release. This is behind EMI. There's budget. This isn't a nothing label.
Not a big budget, though. Not a huge budget.
Yeah, but there's still things here. But you want to compare apples to apples here. Like, I just think that at the same time that it does matter because I'll have a point where this comes back to later on. That point on production is important to me because I've got a point to make about that when it comes to Pearl Jam's album. Now, from that point of view, it's hard to not take note of how this has come out. It's a long way from terrible. Don't get me wrong. This album is really, really good, and the mixing isn't bad. It's well balanced. The raw edge suits them. All that sort of stuff is there. The execution is solid, but there's a definite timestamp to it, and that to me can drag this down a bit overall for mine. I also think there's times where the lyrics get a bit ham-fisted. I know you talk about Pearl Jam, but on this one there are ham-fisted moments compared especially to their later work. But even on this one, there are moments that are just clunky for me. And it's an all-time great album. It's well deserving of its spot. But if you're being purely analytical, I think there are definite flaws in Iron Maiden's album. Not to say that it's a bad album, but there are flaws in it. It's not like we're not sitting here talking about, Appetite for Destruction, where it's almost perfect. Like, we're talking a world of difference.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, it is almost perfect as a debut album.
Wow.
But I'm just talking about it. Like,
I'm fucking sorry.
Van Halen's debut album. These albums are fucking oh my god moments. I don't think Iron Maiden's self-titled album has the same impact as those other debut albums that aren't even on this list that we're talking about. Yeah. From there, we move over to things like Pearl Jam with 10. Now, even if you're not a fan of the band or the grunge era, which obviously some of us here aren't, there's something about this album that's just as special as what we did get with Iron Maiden. Now, don't get me wrong, Iron Maiden's album is special. But if you doubt this album's impact with 10, go and compare the stream numbers between the two albums. It's absolutely fucking chalk and cheese. The numbers of listening to Pearl Jam's 10 versus Iron Maiden's self-titled are fucking worlds apart, and Pearl Jam blitzes it. It's not even fucking close when it comes to how many listens these songs have.
But sorry, can I interject? Can we check? Sorry.
No.
The songs from Iron Maiden's debut played on Live After Death. Did they beat Pearl Jam?
I don't know,
Probably
but it's not
not.
even the same
Because with
vocals,
Dickinson, I think with Dickinson, they would be a lot stronger.
we're talking
they'll
about an
have
album
more
that does
to
not
debut.
have Dickinson, so you're
I know.
destroying your own point.
I'm saying the songs. The songs
No,
themselves are what shines
I
through.
don't give a fuck about the songs. Talk about the album
The songs are on the fucking album.
with a different fucking vocalist. Don't use a different vocalist to defend the fucking song.
And a
What the fuck
different
are you
album.
doing?
It's a song that's important. You can chuck a different vocalist on it later.
Look,
You can do the
Pollyanna
same
was
thing with
amazing.
fucking Pearl
I
Jam if you want to make an
don't-
argument there. Fuck
Oh,
off.
please.
That's
They'd be a better
bullshit
band
argument.
without fucking better.
That's a nonsense argument. I'm not even going to fucking entertain it. Now, another thing worth noting is that even though this album and the band are firmly in the grunge sphere, this particular album has much more of a hard rock feel to it. So, Belle, I'm with you on that one there.
Thank you.
There's
Which
loads
song?
of riffs. Shut up!
All of
There's
them.
on mute. There's loads of riffs, melody. I think there's some nice flash and lead work on this album as well. This is filled with some all-time great songs from the band too. You want to talk about songs being played 40 years later? Fucking these songs from 10 are going to go off 10 years from now.
Released? Yeah, that'll make the audience go off.
Even Flow, Alive, Jeremy, Once, Black, and so many others on this one are just
Not
attention
side
grabbing
two.
from beginning to end. And they really cut through to the mainstream. Yes, you may hate what it did to the mainstream, but they cut through. They were good enough to cut through. The fact that they're still played ad nauseum to where people are sick of them, and I get it. People are sick of them, but they are still played ad nauseum today on radio. You cannot say the same thing for any track from Iron Maiden's self-titled debut.
Fuck radio.
I agree, but this is a thing. Now, you have to touch on the mix here as well, because when it comes back to circling back to that point, I think the mix on 10 is a debut album from an unknown band by comparison. You want to talk about, budgets and all this sort of stuff. The mix on this one is absolutely fucking stunning. This has just the right little bit of rawness to it, but the clean polish is wonderful. I think the mixing on 10 is wonderful. It's got fantastic layering. There's a fair bit of ear candy in there. In this one, and the balance is just right. This really allows the hooks in these songs to shine for me. Alive wouldn't cut through nearly as well without this mix. That mix makes that song fucking wow. I think, to completely shit on Jeff's argument here, I think the lyrics are good on Pearl Jam. I think that what happens here, it can be simplistic and repetitive and all those things. I get it, but it drills into a point with the chorus. But I think that if you love your poetry and your more open-ended storytelling, I think that's what you get out of the lyrics in Pearl Jam stuff, where it's much more open to interpretation, which is what I think was the appeal for it when it came out in 91. People wanted to make their own journeys, not be told what to think. I think that if you compare lyrical craft, I think Iron Maiden were trying to go a particular direction. They didn't quite get it. They get it later on with Dickinson for sure, but they didn't quite get it with Diano. Whereas with this one here, right from the start, Pearl Jam have got it. I think it just captures your imagination. They take you on a journey. I think it's really good. I've got to give it... No, Dave. I think I've got to give a huge nod to the vocal phrasing. I know that you shit on that, but I like Eddie Vedder's phrasing and his delivery because it makes these songs unique and stand out. No one was doing it like he does. I get it. You made the point yourself. Everyone wanted to sound like this guy for the next 10 years. Everyone wanted to, and no one could do it. Like, there's only one Eddie Vedder. The closest you get is Scott Stapp from Creed. Look at that fucking worked out for him. Performance all over this is stunningly good. I think, sure, they get into a little bit of the weeds like we do in some of these songs in this one, but maybe they could have trimmed a little bit here and there. But it's all glorious to listen to in so many ways. The emotive weight in these songs, especially tracks like Jeremy, I think for me is fantastic. That's another big point of difference. This album really feels like it comes from the heart. Iron Maiden felt like it was a work of fiction by comparison. Not a bad thing, but come on, man. Iron Maiden is a real work of art. Come on. It's a great song. But from the heart, Jeremy versus that, come on, from the heart.
It's escapism, dude.
Charlotte the Harlot.
Yeah, Charlotte the Harlot, from the heart, eh? Like, don't get me wrong, they're great songs, but you're comparing heart to fiction, and I think heart's going to win for me, generally speaking. I try to keep these reviews brief. It doesn't work today. But, for me, I know how one-sided the fan vote is. I know how it's going to play out tonight, I'm pretty sure. But I wonder how many people are voting with loyalty versus listening to these two albums back-to-back, clinically and analytically speaking, because I think that...
That's exactly what I did. I tried to be biased, but fuck, I can't do that album.
That's all good.
It puts me to fucking sleep. It really does. It put me to sleep 30 years ago, and it has every decade since.
Well, you've had your say. I'm going to finish mine now. For me, there's one album here which could well be one of, if not their greatest work. for the other band, it could be one of the weakest albums in their collection, as far as I'm concerned. You can make your arguments either way, but I forgot just how good one of these albums was, where the other one didn't grow on me any more than it has in the past either. So for me, Pearl Jam gets the win. I have to give it a nod here. I think it is much better than people give it credit for. But let's see. We have one more to go. Conrad.
Bring us home, brother Conrad.
Don't leave us hanging, mate.
I have. In what is really doing, because I, as much as I love Maiden and I'm living, in their territory right now, he's right, and that is it as solid a debut record? I don't think it has the Pearl Jam 10 had. It doesn't have the same level of cultural impact. It's better.
You're dying, Conrad. Fuck, your connection sucks.
I think it's killing me. It's killing me. I want to hear every word he's saying.
Iron Maiden record.
We got to start a GoFundMe for his internet.
Oh wow.
I think with Iron Maiden's album, it's not as constructed as it's.
Oh, this
and has probably been more thought out as a record, whereas it was different times and different production as well. So, but I think for a debut record, it has to go to
wow.
Fuck!
And I play.
Fuck! I can't listen to Pearl Jam again. I just can't. Fuck!
No. Hey, you know what?
Man, if I slip my fucking wrist before Christmas, it's your fault.
It is not the
fucking so boring.
It is. It's not a fucking Nirvana album. It is.
You know what? You could distill it down.
Do you know what?
Okay,
I would rather listen to Nirvana.
It's not about you, Dave. First and foremost, it's not about you. It's not all about you, Dave. And I did.
Fuck.
We tried.
Do you know what?
I didn't really get it.
I own every single Nirvana album. I don't own 10. I would kill myself listening to 10 again. Fuck.
You're gonna have to now.
Right.
Fuck.
It's a predominantly happy, upbeat rock album.
What? It's fucking boring as crap.
It's music to slit your wrists too. Come on.
It is. It's fucking depressing
What's
crap.
a better debut record? What's a better debut record? And it has to go to 10. I hate to say it. It has to go to 10. As much as I like
This is the first time I've actually been pissed off. Out of the entire year of doing these battles, this is the first time I've been pissed off. I fucking hate this album. Wow.
They're both culturally important. There's no question what this album did for culture. But the new wave of British heavy metal, arguably, this is what started it all. And without that Maiden album, you wouldn't have fucking Metallica.
And had a cultural impact. I think it's. I get it.
Wow.
He'll be back.
But the point is we're comparing album to album. There are differences.
Is it as solid a debut album as Pearl Jam's 10? And it's not as solid a production cost.
Era aside, it is
production values had changed an awful lot by that time, and so did the technology as well.
Let's not forget that Pearl Jam came from the ashes of another band, Mother Love Bone.
Maiden.
Yes, exactly. And as I said, I've seen both of them live. You possibly have too.
Maiden's my favorite band out of the two, and I prefer the Maiden songs. But
I didn't vote for Maiden because they're my favorite band. They're not, but culturally, I think grunge fucking shit, and so Maiden, it offered really nothing.
I hate it, and it's bad. It's down to that.
It's production. There's no question. It's a better album.
Yeah, but
it's not about what I like. It's not about what I like.
I get that.
I get that.
What was a better
Have you read-
debut?
And I would even,
Record.
even for
Exactly.
me,
Whether
like I forgot.
like
Yeah,
Hmm.
or not.
I went back over 10 and I was stunned at how good it was after so many years of not listening to it. I hadn't listened to it forever.
Yes.
I've listened to Iron Maiden. I've listened to Iron
Yeah.
Maiden quite a bit, but listening
Yeah.
to 10, I'm like, oh, fuck, wow. Like, I forgot how
Yeah.
good that album was.
Like exactly. I'd completely
been-
forgotten. Yeah.
I've been hypercritical of Eddie Vedder and Pearl Jam in the
That's
years since.
the
I
way
think
to-
that they got jaded and soft.
View it.
Yes.
But that album,
Make it a
That
double
album?
div.
And that is.
yeah, it's a special album.
It-
Wow,
it was
there we
really
go.
weird.
And even Steve Harris himself is not a fan of the first Maiden record particularly.
Yeah, but he still plays the songs live. Fuck the production. That's anything he bitches about.
lag
It's
is-
the
Yeah,
songs, man.
It's becoming
Yeah, we're not saying the songs are bad. I like all the songs. I think it's fantastic. It's a fantastic album. I love all the songs.
So what's the
but
problem?
You can't really
It's
compare the two in
not a
production.
better
though.
album.
Okay, how many metal bands were signed to a major label and then got fucked over with the actual end product?
all right.
We're
Plenty.
going to get into the weeds
Hang on,
now.
How is
Let's
that?
not do
How
this.
is that relevant here?
Because
Yeah.
the songs
Battle
are
is-
what we should be
This
judging
is
it on.
where we put a pin. This is where we
Yeah.
put a pin.
Yeah.
This is where we
I
put a pin.
actually
Put a
don't
pin
mind
on.
because whatever album Pearl Jam comes across, I don't have to fucking listen to this crap again. I just
Let's
go.
hear
Oh,
what
with
the
you
it.
listen
audience
to it?
has to say. We
Make
know what they're
decisions.
going to say.
But for the fun part of tonight, we have gone through the battle and we have come with an upset, to be honest. I didn't think it was going to go this way.
Wow.
We
I
are,
think
we
it
are
was gonna
going
go
on
this way, yeah.
completely different journeys to the audience and us. This is going to be really wild where this is going to finish up.
Wow.
But for us,
Love it.
Pearl Jam won. For the audience, Iron Maiden won. So these polling things,
I'm
Pearl,
gonna get
you're gonna
lynched.
there's going to get a lot more polls
And
for you. Bella,
deservedly
so you have
so,
it ready
man.
in advance. But that's where this is
That's
fun.
irrelevant.
That's where we're doing the different
Oh,
trees
yeah,
and
this
seeing
is
how it all
great.
comes out. Like this is good fun, and it's important to remember it's fun. And I get we all get a bit caught up in things, but let's just try and keep it a bit light because it is entertaining. And Dave, you don't have to listen to the album again; you can compare it to the next one. It goes up
I
against
don't plan to. I can't. I would. I fucking
all
can't
right.
talk about it.
We understand. We'll mark you down against the next time through.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
with you, my brother.
I know you two are together. Let's do it. Let's go to our final segment for
I
the
can't
evening.
fucking talk.
Pin it. We'll move on. It's time for the final moment of madness that we're going to close the show on tonight, which is Embrace the Chaos. There's a new little thing called Embrace the Chaos where I'm going to give everyone sort of 90 seconds or about that to make a point. And this is inspired by last week's debate where we got fucking stuck right into each other, which is about, which was the more influential bass player or the one that inspired people to pick up the bass guitar the most. Before I get to this one, I'm going to go to the comments quickly, though, just see what the audience say about this one, because it's going to go fucking wild. Michael said, I made sure to listen to both these albums today. To be fair, no contest, Maiden by miles. Mal said, droning and depressing crunch in a nutshell. Vinny says, I'm with Jeff on this one. Pearl Jam reminds me of a mix of music with cerebral palsy.
Oh,
Wow.
Yes!
wow. That's
Wow.
wow.
Vinny,
Harsh.
you know.
Adrian says, Pearl Jam, even for my favorite song from them. So there we go. But followed
Cool.
with favorite Seattle bands, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Nirvana, Pearl Jam. That's a good list. there.
Alice in Chains, yeah.
But Adrian says, wow, Wrathchild is a killer track. But Adrian said,
Some
great
killers,
review,
dude.
Mel. Listen
Thanks,
to Temple of the
mate.
Dog, Hunger Strike. That Temple of the Dog is a good album.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my growing list from tonight.
Temple of the Dog, yeah, Belle, you got to check that out. If you
Temple
like
Dog
this,
was-
check out that
Okay.
one. Yeah, you'll love it.
Well-
Pearl Jam was credited to Clean Dave. Here we go.
Yeah, so was
Vinny
Gangnam
says,
Style.
"Hey,
Who
Dave,
gives a
I
fuck?
picked scabs that were more exciting than Pearl Necklace, so there we go.
That's my dude.
Mel says, Dave PM, well said, brother. Dave says, go,
Oh.
Dave, go from Michael.
God, don't
Adrian says, I'm critical of
encourage
playing
him.
Pearl Jam. Yeah. Michael says, Adrian Smith wrote Charlotte the Harlot when he was 15 and says the first song he wrote, so there we go.
That's a cool
Followed
song.
by, this week we're comparing apples to apples. Guess it's different week to the Motley Crue album, for fuck's sake. Well, that's true. But Adrian said, great review by me. This is going to be fucking nuts here. Vinny says, I'd be curious to know how, if Live After Death was released using the technology Pearl Necklace had access to in 91 or vice versa, would it be a fairer comparison?
Vinny.
6 years or so later, it could have really polished Maiden up in the beginning. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't matter.
This
This
is
is what,
what pisses me off about production and everything, because,
Not-
people are more concerned about how something is presented rather than what the actual quality of what is there.
I can pick apart the songs and the lyrics too, Dave.
Or Conrad say anything about critical about the production? No, it wasn't about the production. I don't give a shit about it either.
I did.
Anyway,
and I'll own that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll move on. Iron Maiden was an album for teenagers to listen to, and if you're a teen at its release, you could identify with the album and the band. It was exciting for me, and I think it does have heart. There we go. That's a stab at me, obviously.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Michael says Pearl Jam album has better production, but so what? I find Maiden's debut album much more interesting and love the guitars to death. Love Paul's voice.
Dude.
There we go.
Someone understands it.
Nicole says, I dislike Deanna's vocals, but I abhor Pearl Jam. And Michael says, Pearl Jam, what was it before Motley Crue? Well, Crue should lose by tonight's metric then. Well, we'll see. We will see. It's different. It's every round throws up little wrinkles, and we'll see how it plays out. Now, I did tease it. We're going to close out with a fun new thing where we all get to fucking go off our heads for about 90 seconds, like I was saying before, where we have to put a pin in these things to move on and get things done, because we're going to move on now and get this one knocked over. And this is going to follow up from last week. We'll probably take something from this on into next week. Now, but tonight's little debate question here is going to be, who was the bass player that inspired more people to pick up their bass guitar? Was it Paul McCartney or was it Cliff Burton? This is a pick on last week's little go here. So first cab off the rank is going to be Jeff, and your time starts now.
Okay, look, I think you can argue the impact that the Beatles had on the world, but that's not the question here. The question is, who inspired more people to pick up the bass guitar? I think Paul McCartney is an amazing bass player, but he's not a technically amazing bass player. He plays what he needs for the song. He's a great piano player, can sing, all that stuff, right? But picking up the bass, people that were inspired, Cliff Burton really did inspire a huge movement, I think, with Metallica's success. And then, of course, it would only grow after he died, because then, of course, he became infamous, really. So, look, I think the Beatles, definitely, you can't argue, Beatles' most influential band of all time, but who inspired more people to pick up the bass guitar itself? I think you'd have to say that Cliff Burton did, really.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Nice and succinct. That's a good way to start off. Dave, your time starts now.
Okay, yep. It's not about the Beatles. It's not about songwriting. It's not about performances on piano or guitar, though Paul McCartney was originally a guitar player. It's about bass, and I can't pick one single bass line from the Beatles, but, run through Metallica's first 3 albums, I could pick up a whole bunch of bass lines. The bass line to For Whom the Bell Tolls in itself was enough. I'd never played bass in my life, but I know a lot of people that just like, how the fuck do you do that sound? So I personally know a lot of people that were inspired by Cliff Burton. I don't know anyone that's picked up a bass because of Paul McCartney. I have read countless issues of Guitar World, not just Guitar World, but all types of guitar books, magazines, everything in the whole world. More people say Cliff Burton to me than Paul McCartney. Respect to the Beatles and everything they've done, and Paul McCartney, but yeah, I definitely think Cliff Burton inspired more people to pick up a bass guitar and learn how to play music than Paul McCartney.
There we go. Nice and succinct again. Alrighty, I get to go next. Now, my time starts now. It's a really interesting question, this one, because we went into it last week and we talked about how, the Beatles are definitely, regardless of taste, are definitely more influential band overall. The impact on music history is absolutely phenomenal, second to none. You can't deny it. The way that the new single has gone off after how many years is testament to that. But the question is, who inspired more people to pick up the bass guitar? Now, Paul McCartney is a phenomenal bass player, but did he inspire people to write songs or to pick up the bass? And I would argue he inspired people to write songs, whereas I think Cliff Burton inspired people to pick up the bass guitar. He made bass guitar cool. Paul McCartney was a cultural phenom, but I just think that what Cliff did to the bass guitar, how he revolutionized it in some respects by playing it like a lead guitar with, but finger picking the whole way through. Like what he did, no one has really done the same thing since, as far as I'm concerned. I think that when it came to picking up, getting that big body with the fucking hair whipping around, the way he looked on stage, the way he performed, what he wrote, how he played, I just think for me, I think personally that he would have inspired more people to pick up the bass guitar. And when I was teaching guitar, I was teaching a lot more Metallica songs than I was teaching Beatles songs, just for the record there as well. But that's a small anecdote, but for my time is up, so I'm going to go with Cliff Burton for me personally as well. So it's 3 for 3 so far. Belle, your time starts now.
Oh, fucking hell. Just let me read. It's not that much. I think the answer to this is obvious, just purely from a mathematical perspective. And the best-selling artist of all time is the Beatles, with a certified 183 million units sold. Metallica has only sold a mere 125 million albums. Statistically speaking, that means there are more Beatles albums out there influencing people to pick up a bass guitar.
Yep.
More people, I should say. But statistics aside, the broader reach of Beatles albums based on their music style would put Beatles albums in more houses, therefore influencing more would-be bass guitarists. Plus, the Beatles have a good 20-year head start on Metallica, so they've had a longer amount of time to influence more people during that time. I wonder if Cliff Burton himself was influenced, at least in part, to pick up a bass guitar because he heard Paul McCartney playing. There's a very good chance of that, at the very least, indirectly through Cliff's cited influences, who are Geddy Lee, Geezer Butler, Stanley Clarke, Lemmy Kilmister, and Phil Lynott. Geddy Lee, Stanley Clarke, and Lemmy all cite Paul McCartney as an influence. Phil Lynott's band Skid Row covered Hey Jude. Geezer Butler met Ozzy Osbourne while waiting outside a TV studio that the Beatles were appearing on just to catch a glimpse of them.
Nice.
You could say that without Paul McCartney's influence, who clearly influenced all 5 bassists little Cliffy Burton loved, he might not have even picked up a bass. Beatles music spans multiple generations and lovers of music generally. Metallica spans a couple of generations and is loved predominantly only by fans of metal and hard rock. Cliff Burton has not influenced more people than McCartney is statistically nor reasonably possible.
Wow.
Sorry, that doesn't make sense at all. That's statistics, but yeah.
I am seriously impressed right now. I am seriously impressed.
Yeah, it makes sense on paper, statistically and all that. But just because you got a fucking album in your house doesn't mean you're going to pick up an instrument.
Well,
it's statistically more likely.
I think the Beatles influenced more people to pick up.
Hey, we got one more to go. Conrad.
Sorry.
Conrad, your time starts now.
Do it. Bring us home.
Shock us again.
It's got to be Paul McCartney easily.
Flag.
Yeah,
easily by 4 people. Yep.
Why?
The bass they would have done it.
Oh,
God.
Why? Give us a reason.
By Paul McCartney. No Paul McCartney.
Obviously.
No Paul McCartney, no Metallica, really. I mean, that's
fair point.
That's fair. Cultural.
That's what I was getting at.
Impact and people.
That's not the question.
Wanting to pick up
though,
guitar
really.
and play guitar, whether it be bass or whether it be a guitar.
Hum me a Beatles bass line.
Dave, pin.
Pick up an instrument and play. If people see Paul McCartney playing a bass guitar and he being a songwriter and a singer-songwriter, they're gonna do that back in those days, absolutely, and he would have done so. Yeah, I'd say Paul McCartney would have influenced way more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. That's we go.
My 2 cents worth.
No, cool. No, awesome. And that's where it becomes fun. I know that we don't always agree, and that's the point. But it's one of those things where we can really have some fun with these little mad minutes at the end of the show here. And I know that Dave has a lot more to get off his chest. We're going to put a pin in all of it to get us out of here and get us so we can have some sleep tonight. Otherwise, we will carry on and we can debate. It's all fun and games.
I'm sorry, Conrad. You didn't clear up shit there, man. You had no logic to back up that argument at all.
I disagree, Dave.
That's Conrad's opinion, and
it's an opinion piece.
How is it more relevant than your opinion?
Because I've known people that picked up a bass because of Cliff Burton. I haven't known anyone to pick up a bass from Paul McCartney.
Yeah, but that's
personal
that's
experience.
anecdotal.
I don't need statistics.
Highly
when
anecdotal, Dave. You can't use anecdotal to form.
Yeah, but that's a generational thing.
Okay, so
Probably
hum me a Beatles bass line.
people closer to your generation, Dave, would have.
I can hum a Beatles.
I know the
bass line.
Beatles. The Beatles have 20 years on Metallica. Hum me a Beatles bass line.
Yeah,
That's a guitar.
That's
a bass line. It's a bass line.
And there would have been.
You can do it. You can do it. It just depends on how familiar you are with the music. That's all, really.
Yeah, I know fucking Beatles songs.
Yeah, but that's
I
a
think
memory.
most
test, not
Metallica
a-
fans wouldn't be able to hum you a bass line. You're a friggin'
Everyone can
ridiculous
hum the
fan.
fucking line
You're
to
a
put in the bell tolls.
fanboy. Yeah, but
Yeah,
look, that's one song.
Orion?
You know, I get that. Orion. I mean, what a song, right?
Anesthesia.
But at the
There's three
same
songs
time,
right there.
yeah, but Dave, at the same time, you cannot possibly counter argue that the Beatles have less impact, socially speaking, than the
No, we're
Beatles.
not talking about the impact of the Beatles.
Yeah,
We're talking about bass guitar.
Yes, Dave. But the point is that when you come across sheer weight of numbers,
Yeah.
statistically speaking, you've got
Technically,
to.
it's
There is
right.
an argument to be made for the Beatles. You can't dismiss Paul McCartney out of
I'm
hand.
not dismissing fucking Paul McCartney. Okay, in 2023, do we have more bands that sound like Metallica or more bands that sound like the Beatles?
I don't know, honestly. I don't think that's a fair question to ask.
I honestly think there's more bands that sound like the
any-
fucking Metallica.
More people would have picked.
I don't think there are
Sound
any
like
bands
Metallica.
that
I don't
sound
think there's any
like
band
Metallica.
sound like the Beatles at all. But how many bands?
There's
were
no
influenced
band
by
that sounds like the
Yeah.
Beatles.
Yeah.
There's more bands that sound like Metallica.
But doesn't
Well,
make
you
the
could
Beatles
say there are
special.
more bands that have been influenced by the Beatles, but again, like you say, that's not the question.
But if you go back
That's not the
before
question, yeah.
Metallica,
And like I
Dave,
said, the Beatles have
Fine.
20 years
All
on Metallica.
So much for a mad minute. We're going to put a pin in all of that because we're going to be here all night. Look, we have a lot of fun with this,
God.
obviously. The
We're
whole
round
point
and
is
round in
having fun.
circles here.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are, and that's why we're moving on. And
Practice it, Andrew.
Yep. And so we are moving on. We're going to go to the audience comments and then we're going to go to this one. So to when it goes to this one, Adrian says Cliff for him. So there we go. Adrian says, I first started playing because of Steve Harris and Cliff Burton. So there we go.
Yep.
Adrian says, I'm sorry, I first started playing bass guitar first and Steve Harris, Cliff Burton was the reason why. There we go.
Yep.
It's
Great.
but it's fish in a barrel.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a silly
This
concept.
is the audience. That's what they listen to, right?
It's
Yeah,
our
exactly.
audience too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is what we
But
do
now
here.
that's why I was trying to be subjective, just trying to be in the guitar world, not just Guitar World magazine, but all like the classical shit, the jazz stuff, the books.
Yeah, but at the same time, understanding pop culture impact has a wider influence.
Well, there's the tricky thing: the Beatles versus bass.
Yes,
Obviously,
I
the Beatles
agree with that as a
bass.
concept, but that's why both arguments are valid at the same time. At the end
I
of the day,
think there's no. Yeah, you can argue both ways.
you can, and that's why it's fun. Michael says, yes, Bell, mention some of the greatest bass players outside of these two. So there we go. But Carol Key is an American musician. She's one of the most prolific recorded bass guitarists in rock and pop music, playing on an estimated 10,000 recordings in his career spanning 65 years. Wow. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Adrian Bell with a great comeback. So there we go. Mel says, brilliant, Bell. Don't necessarily agree, but well put. And that's where the whole point of putting an argument together is.
Man.
rattle off the statistics. That makes sense, but
But but that's where
still's not
arguments have valid weight,
Numbers
Dave.
don't
No,
lie.
yeah.
yeah,
Nicole
but
says, I have
that's not
three
relevant to the actual fucking topic, though.
pin. Dave.
How is it not? It's
We just-
exactly
we got-
It's
relevant.
enough.
It's statistics
Yeah,
about how many albums are in a
sorry.
fucking
Sorry.
in a household, but doesn't just because an album is in your household doesn't mean you're going to learn how to
I
play
know
it.
when to shut up.
It's true, Dave. It's true. Like popularity doesn't win. Remember
Oh my
Gangnam
God.
Style?
Exactly.
That's my argument.
Britney Spears
Well
is a
done.
fucking global sensation.
How
It
is
doesn't
that
mean
being
she's
brought
good.
up again? That's like
Zip it.
twice today.
It's a decent
Gangnam
comparison, though.
No, look, Nicole says I have a 3 tenors album, but it doesn't make me want to sing opera. So there we go.
Exactly.
Sure, this one. Rowan
Exactly.
says,
Just
I don't
because
think
there's an album
Conrad
in
is
your house
actually
doesn't mean you
laying.
want
I
to
think
learn
he's
it.
just talking like for the lols. There we go. Adrian says Conrad Gene Simmons started playing bass because of the Beatles. So there we go.
Yeah.
There's a
There's
point
another
there.
one.
Dave's laughing, or Adrian's laughing at Dave, and Adrian says, I can hum you the bass line of Creeping Death. So there we go. Look,
Yeah.
it's all a bit of fun. That's the whole point of it, is to have fun,
Yeah.
change things up. We shook it up tonight.
Sounds
We had a bit of
fun.
fun with it. Hopefully,
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
else they got to enjoy it as well. But we're going to wrap up and get out of here before it gets ridiculous along the tooth. We'll put a pin in this conversation. We'll find one of these little topics here to dive into next week for our next Mad Minute as shit goes on. But before we get out of here, we get to the bin in a second. I'm going to do a bit of the pre-roll for the bin now for you all to get yourselves warmed up. So our details are in the description box. If you like what you saw or listened to here tonight, then please do follow us on your preferred social platform. We appreciate your time with us, whether it's live with us or later on via video or audio. Take your pick. We just love having you around. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show, and make sure you give us your thoughts whenever you do check it out. So to do that, like I was saying, details are in the description box. Find, like, follow, subscribe, all the usual shit. We're no different. Just please help us out with all that sort of stuff. Any sort of interacting with us in any way is a great help to us at any point, at all. But if you want to help us more than that, to get more done in 2024, then please check out our Patreon page as well. There's a bit going on there over the next little bit between now and the end of the year. I'm going to revamp the whole thing. So please do check it out. If you want to help us out there, that'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. It allows us to get to do things more like the interviews we used to do and a whole lot more back in 2024 as well. That'd be really, really cool to get back into. But yeah, this is what we do. We have a lot of fun with it. There are reference tracks, like I was saying, for everything here tonight. So go and check out the music for yourselves, make up your own minds, find something you enjoy and have some fun with it. That is the whole point of this thing, is to take joy out of music. And that is not take it out of the music, but to enjoy music. Mind you, we might be taking the joy out of fucking people's souls at the moment. But that's about it. So on next week's stream, which is on Wednesday night, because Dave is occupied on Thursday with a special night for him and Jade there. So next week on Wednesday, it's King of the Riff is going to be Van Halen versus Boston for us. For the audience poll, it's Van Halen versus Machine Head. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to be, there's going to be a few
Who versus Machine Head?
Sorry?
Who versus Machine Head?
Van Halen versus Machine Head is the audience version of the poll.
Okay.
For our version,
no, Boston.
Wow. Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
That's going to be a good one. Yeah.
Wait.
Sorry, Belle. Go on.
Andrew. Can you clarify? Van Halen Boston is audience. Van Halen Machine Head is us.
No, the other way around.
Other way around.
Yeah, Boston won.
Boston won for us. Machine Head won the audience poll.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So we'll do two polls next week for this. So there's a few polls coming up, people. That's why it's important to keep up to date now, because we're going to get through it. Because these trees are going to split off, it's going to be really quirky to see how this all sort of shakes out over the next little bit. So that's why I'm saying next week we will review or battle between Van Halen and Boston. We'll put a poll out for Van Halen versus Machine Head. That's the thinking there, to see how the two different trees go off against each other. For our Sunday session this coming Sunday, we're going to go through and do our Christmas episode for TV. We're going to review the latest from Red Hook, Garish and the Chronicles, Filter. We're going to go over a classic from The Who, and we're going to continue our journey with Metallica with 3 albums this Sunday. Yeah, there's a lot going on. As always, check us out on TV as well. Saturday nights at 10:30 p.m. on Channel 31 in Melbourne, and then Thursday nights at 10:30 p.m. on Channel 44 in Adelaide. You can watch those ones online at the same time via ctvplus.org.au or via the CTV Plus app on your mobile device. That's about it. We're going to go through and do the bin and get the fuck out of here tonight. So let's go to the bin. First up is going to be Conrad. What are you putting in the bin this week? Internet.
Yeah.
I think I did it last time. Lagging.
Yep.
Oh yeah, musicians, local bands, with just outrageously fucking like outrageously delirious ego, delirious fucking egos when you ask them to do something, when they're in your venue and you ask the band and you're like, hang on, fuckhead, you're not playing Wembley Stadium, you haven't sold it out. I'm asking off.
Yep.
Get out the venue.
That Nathan.
So just
Nathan
those
guy.
Nathan James. Yeah.
That's the one.
Australian bands are the worst for it, to be honest. I hate to say it.
No,
but yeah,
Dave,
they're an Australian band over here.
Yeah. I will chime in on that one.
I was dealing with some Australian band here recently, or one of the members might have been Australian. He had a fucking attitude on him, and I was just like, fuckhead. He had a bigger attitude than fucking Axl Rose on him. He didn't like being told what to do, and he started being a diva.
Sonic Axl, man.
And I was like, no.
This is some other band.
This is how it's going to fucking be. This is how it's going to be. You're in my venue. This is how I want it fucking done. Load your shit out the venue. Shut the fuck up. Get out the venue.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
It's
I
not
just
your
don't
name on the
tolerate
fucking
rock
billboard,
star
is it?
fucking attitudes
Yeah.
from bands that are, playing pubs.
Mm. For those that want a little bit of an
What's the matter?
insight here, Dave, you'll know this one. There's a part of the not only, but part of the reason why we haven't done an extravaganza since our second one was the shit that went on behind the scenes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So, yeah, completely agree, Conrad. Local band egos, get in the fucking bin because you made my life so much harder. We haven't done an extravaganza since. We've done two. Haven't done another one since.
They were fun. They were great days, but the shit leading up to it just wasn't worth the fucking hassle.
That's it. It's too hard. So I don't have the effort or the energy for that, so I'm not doing it again.
No.
Oh, what?
I like bursting with curiosity.
I'm sure you are.
There were two great nights. Fucking 10 bands. It was fantastic, but just
they were phenomenal nights. They went off well. They were great.
Oh,
but
yeah.
some of the shit behind the
That
scenes,
was great.
utterly mad.
We've been
Come on,
absolute school.
Yeah.
Don't.
How do I put it? Don't think above your station, if that makes sense. Not to put anyone, not putting anyone down, but don't think you're more important than you are. Like, respect yourself, absolutely.
Know your position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Respect yourself. Strive for greatness, but don't oversell yourself.
Yeah, and that's a good bin, Conrad. I completely concur with it. Yes, well done.
Where's my platter of fucking fruit and shit like that? Fuck off.
All right, Dave, your bin.
Okay, I got a few. It's been a week. People complaining about other people setting up Christmas now. I know it's a few weeks out, but if it brings somebody happiness, how the fuck does that affect you? Do your life and leave other people the fuck alone. People piss me off. Apple. Fucking hate you to start with, but my daughter's having problems because most of the kids in her class have an Apple phone and it's not compatible for group chats with Galaxy, which is what she's got. So you can't just change something on the Galaxy and it has to be done on the Apple end. And the Apple people don't want to do that because it affects the fucking fantasticness of their chats. And Jade's feeling left out. So fuck off, Apple. If you leave this bullshit, it doesn't comply with other devices.
Fair enough.
Shoes with no grip. For two reasons. I had a hell of a time at work because most of the time my boots are covered with wax in the tread and with ball is sticky and I had to move a fucking container that was fucking a ton heavy. But I did it. And as I mentioned, I was trimming the trees. And Andrew, you've seen the back decking that you can't climb on that roof. No. I've got like a wisteria plant. I got to trim that shit back or it kills the gutters. So the only way to do it is this little tiny part that I got to slide down and cut things off. My shoes for some reason didn't have any grip this year. So there's like these little bolts in like every slat. Somehow I had to like flip back and grip into those. Wow. Because I was sliding quicker and quicker towards the end and that shit was scary. Okay. People who can't tell the difference between a drunken joke and a serious comment. Grow the fuck up.
Wow.
Lack of time, never enough time. Stupid band names, going through fucking YouTube trying to find a song of the week. I'm just like, I'm not even engaged enough to click on your song based on your band name. You make no sense to me.
Here we go.
And just one from today, boring music like Pearl Jam 10. That's music to split your fucking wrist to.
That's my quote.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mic drop. Belle, your bin.
I actually didn't have one. I'm sorry. And I didn't have one. And Conrad kind of got me thinking about something that has been annoying me.
Nice.
Bye,
and
Conrad.
that is he might be back.
Hopefully back. Yeah, hopefully.
So there's a bunch of gigs on next year on the mainland, and I probably won't be able to come to them. One of them happens to be my favorite fucking band in the whole world, who I saw earlier this year, so I shouldn't be too unhappy, but they're my favorite band. And
it's a full set too. It's not a festival set. It's a full headlining set.
Yep.
Okay, so Dave obviously knows who they are. That is In Flames. Yeah, I'm pretty.
I'm making it worse.
Transparent. Yeah. So they're playing with Creator too. So that will be a seriously awesome gig, and I don't think I'll be going. So kind of bummed about that. North Lane, who again
they're on
another
tour now too. Yeah.
They're another favorite. They're playing at the Forum as well. Only they're playing the day before and then a few days later.
Yeah.
Again, love to go and see them, but they're Aussie, so I'm not as bummed I won't get to see them. Like I don't think In Flames. I mean, you can't even assume they'll come back for the next album, whatever that is, 2-3 years time. Maiden are coming back. I probably won't even get to see them later in the year. God knows who else.
Metallica's coming. You know it's going to happen.
Oh, fucking cool. Yeah, that's another one to add to the bitch list.
Not this year, I don't think, though. It'll be next year.
24.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's not late. It might even be early 25, to be honest.
Possibly. Yeah.
Late 24, early 25.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's, I don't know. Gives me time to save, right?
Yeah. Well, in theory. Yep.
Yeah.
For 2 nights,
so, look, I just
they're doing 2 different set lists.
No, it's good. It's good.
I'm gonna have a whinge.
I'll film the Maiden.
I'd love to see In Flames again.
Yeah.
I really would. So
it'd be nice if it was easy, wouldn't it? Overall, I feel your pain. It's weird to say, but being up here, everything's 2-3 hours away, so it's a fair hike to go and see a band from where I am.
I'm within half an hour drive, and I can't afford it. So
well, that's true as well.
Who's been announced for that Knotfest out there? Who's been announced?
No one.
Not yet. Nobody.
Just dates.
No.
Just dates. Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
There's question whether Slipknot will be there or not. They probably won't.
What are the dates actually?
March, I think it is. I think it's March.
March again. All right.
Yeah,
maybe they'll debut their new drummer.
I think they've got that pre-locked up, but we'll see how it goes. All right, Jeff, your bin.
Okay, this is look, this is something that bothers me, and you guys may disagree. Feel free. But it's called colloquially in the business as canned laughter. Okay, laugh tracks added to fucking TV shows. Okay?
Is that what we need? We need a laugh track.
Yeah, we do
possibly
need that. But it's meant to be funny, but in actual fact, it makes me fucking irate. So being told when to laugh when something is funny means it isn't fucking funny.
Yep.
Okay, and it's an insult to your sense of humor. Now, in my opinion, there's only 3 shows, in my opinion, that have ever been good enough to support it. And they really didn't need it. But that was Seinfeld, brilliant show. Everybody Loves Raymond and Home Improvement. Okay. Now, all of those shows are fucking very funny. There's laugh tracks added, but you really didn't need it because it was quite funny. Now, the worst offender for me. Yeah, Fraser, you could Cheers. There's lots of other good shows that are, you could do it.
Yeah.
But for me, the worst offender of all the fucking shows, and I fucking can't stand it, is The Big Bang Theory. I literally cannot stand this show. Every time it's on, I want to throw something. Whatever I'm fucking holding in my hand, I want to throw it at the fucking TV. My flat
show's not even funny. It's not funny at all.
It's not funny. It's
so funny.
No, it's not.
It's not funny. It's got and it's just constant. Every fucking thing they say is laugh, 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 laugh. Life is not that fucking funny. I'm sorry. It's just not.
No.
And people don't sit around and talk about things, and everything that comes out of their mouth is something funny.
Yeah.
And you know what? And there was an experiment a few years back. There was an experiment with this. Yeah, I know. There was an experiment.
Takes it seriously.
But there was an experiment a few years back, okay, regarding this show. And what someone did was they took the Big Bang Theory, and then what they did was they removed all the laughter from the show, and you play it back, and it's fucking deadpan. People are like,
I was laughing.
It's not funny. It's about as funny as a fucking chapped ass. It is not funny.
No, I will fight. I will argue with you to the death of this.
Okay.
I fucking love
On guard. All right.
Anyway, when my daughter was a toddler, we had that show was on the TV, and Jade's like, "This show makes me laugh." I'm like, "Why? It's funny." I'm like, "Sweetie, these are nerds." She goes, "They make me laugh." I'm like, "Good. It's fun to laugh at nerds." So I taught her from a young age.
You're so cool, Dave. You like
Stop that.
Laugh at
It wasn't a good show. It really wasn't.
Jeff, is that your bin done?
That's my bin. I'm done.
All right, my turn. All right, two things for me quickly this week. One is the Enigma Bar in South Australia. Not them themselves, but the fact that they're closing. That's a big blow to the Adelaide music scene. Losing the Enigma Bar is a big deal, bigger than you probably think it is in terms of having metal and rock get a stage to play in that state. So for people following us in Adelaide, I wholeheartedly sympathise with that.
What was the reasons why it folded?
Just financial.
Just financial pain,
Couldn't make it run anymore. Costs went up, profits went down. Everything like that.
Same story.
So it's a cool venue. It's a shame to lose it. Like, it's a really nice venue to go to. So I know they got like last drinks, if not now, then very, very shortly. So if you get a chance, go and chop them out. But it's a shame to lose another venue because we've lost quite a few over the last sort of 12, 24, 36 months. So we need to stop losing venues if we can. Otherwise, we need to really revamp how we look at live music in this country. Yeah, it's a shame. My other bin, which really ties into my last few bins, to be honest, is people who drive cars that are bigger than they can handle. Get in the fucking bin. Like, seriously, if you can't park the fucking thing, trade it in. It's pretty straightforward. I was watching some silly old biddy, even today, like, oh my God, she's driving going, oh my God, it's so ridiculous. The car park's so small. It's like, no, your fucking car's too big for you, you fucking drop kick. Trade it in. You don't need a fucking 7-year-old person in twin cab fucking raised dude. What the fuck are you doing with it? Okay, if you can't drive it, get rid of it. Okay, I run into it left, right, and center. It's fucking insane. Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. If you're fucked and you can't drive a big car, it's okay. Go and get a smaller one. You'll find people around you to do the other fucking heavy lifting for you because you can't lift anything into the fucking tray anyway. What the fuck are you doing driving that car? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fucking madness.
But when she dies, they just put her in the back and someone can drive off.
Well, it's a self-driving hearse. Here we go. What the fuck are we doing? Anyway, just fucking does my head in just watching it play out time and time again. It's like, I get it. If I could, I drive a twin cab ute. I get the appeal of the car, but if you can't drive it, don't. Like, just get something that actually suits your skill set. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, fuck me dead. Drives me nuts.
Hard though.
It's not. But at the same time, I imagine as we get older, our faculties will decrease and so on and so forth. So you should. It's like people going into nursing homes. Not the same thing, but as you downsize your life, downsize your car. You don't need to be a fucking grandma driving a fucking twin cab race, dude. I just can't fucking get my head around it. Like, what are you doing with it? And the same thing with fucking the grey nomads that fucking can't drive their fucking caravan around. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Fuck off. Oh, if you can't drive it, fuck it off.
You're adjusting the country life quite well, I
am not dealing with that part very well at all, man. I don't handle stupid very well, and it's pissing me off. So
inbred,
fucking killing me. I don't
country
get it. There's no need to be so insulting to Tasmanians.
I wasn't.
No, Conrad.
I wasn't for a change.
I heard the word inbred and I instantly got offended.
Oh, okay.
You instantly thought it was Tasmania.
A bit of a sensitivity issue there.
Said inbred.
It's all right. I was born and bred in Melbourne, so fucking go for it.
You understand.
All right. On that note, it's a bit of brevity. Let's get some final comments and get out of here. What do we got here? Adrian's got death match between Dave and Bell. That'd be interesting.
Oh, it's on.
Michael, after the Pearl Jam incident, maybe the audience will go on strike next Wednesday. Well, we'll see what happens. Vinny says, my bin, it could be. My bin is surgery. Even with painkillers, I feel like I've been on the end of one of my own bad jokes. Wow. That's saying something, Vinny. Look, in all seriousness, that's a cracking comment, but fuck, I hope you're feeling better soon. Like, that is one of the best comments with that. I hope you're feeling better soon, genuinely speaking.
Cheers, man.
It sucks to go through shit like that. Like, genuinely, hopefully you're feeling on the bend by next week. But yeah, genuinely, fingers crossed for you. But yeah, that's a funny comment.
No skin off my nose, man.
Oh, here we go. There, well done, Dave. Michael says in the bin, Apple TV for an increase of over 30% in December. In fact, streaming increases in general in the bin with all utility companies and supermarkets. Good point there. Adrian's laughing at Conrad. Dave is freaking hilarious. Adrian's In Flames.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, cool. So there we go. More love for In Flames.
Yeah.
Michael says in the bin, cost of living stopping lots of bus buying tickets. That is a very true indeed.
Yeah.
Feel the pain, man.
Vinny says, I agree, Jeff, and the title Big Bang Theory is a false advertisement to my adolescent mind. So Vinny's back in form. Michael says, Jeff, when laying up laugh tracks, rehearsals can be cut into the edit with no audience present. You have to try and get some feel as audience version, not as gratifying as film and sound design. Yeah, editing that stuff sucks. Here we go. Vinny says, careful, Andrew. It's probably a serial killer who targets hosts of live streams. You fit in the tray nicely. Probably, but good luck. Bring it on. She can't fucking drive it, so she can't fucking find me. Nicole's gone, welcome to Queensland. It's a different switch, I'll tell you that right now. Rowan's gone, Gran, can you drive me to the doctor? Son, I've got the plumber coming. Just take my truck. Gran, do you think I can drive your truck? Son, sure, no one will care that you drive my truck. I fucking will. I'll tell you that right now. Fuck off my road. Oh my god.
Granny, jump in the back.
Oh wow. Take a fucking paddock bashing in the fucker. Let's see how that goes. But anyway, that's it. We're done. Let's get out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We're back again on Wednesday next week for another live stream. Otherwise, check out the extra stuff we're doing all the time. But until next time around, I'm Andrew.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Belle.
I'm Dave.
I'm Conrad.
We'll see you all again soon. Until then, you know what to do, folks.
Drink up.
Drink up.
Rock on.
Rock on, folks.
Don't listen to boring music like Pearl Jam.
Mayday. Mayday.
Maiden.
Maiden.
Next week.
Maiden for the win.
Maiden.